367 days ago, the Cotuit Kettleers 2023 campaign came to a close in the hands of the Bourne Braves. A walk-off sacrifice fly by Josh Kuroda-Grauer eliminated the Kettleers and propelled the Braves to the West Division Finals, where they ultimately captured their second consecutive championship. However, the past is in the past, and after 5 regular season matchups here in 2024, the 2 West Division foes are ready to duke it out in a best-of-3 with a trip to the Cape Cod Baseball League Championship on the line. Hello and welcome to Lowell Park for a battle between the Bourne Braves and the Cotuit Kettleers here on the Kettleers Digital Network, as the Bourne Braves hit the road to square off against the Kettleers for Game 1 of the Western Division Finals. I'm Alex Rocco, joined alongside, as always, by my broadcast partner, Joe Pratt. And Joe, isn't it funny how history always tends to repeat itself? Bourne, Cotuit meeting once again in the playoffs.
A tale as old as time. I mean, these two teams have faced off now the 7th time in the playoffs since 2010, and it's just amazing to see that this is a team that has just been able to find everything that they have and just use every single last piece of blood, sweat, and tears at the end of the season and after the playoffs, going into the playoffs after the All-Star break. They seem to be the best team in the league across the last 3 seasons. This year is no different, but the Kettleers stand in their way.
Bourne won last night over Hyannis 5-1 Cotuit with a 7-3 victory over the Wareham Gatemen, and now we'll take a look back at that contest.
It was Game 1 of the 2024 Cape League playoffs, and it was Game 1 as the number 2 seed Cotuit Kettleers took on the number 3 seed Wareham Gatemen. Getting the start for the Kettleers in Game 1 was none other than Mikey Ebner, the reliable relief pitcher out of USC. Ebner was dialed in from the mound from the time he took the bump. He pitched 3 1/3 innings, gave up 1 hit, no runs, and walked 1 batter while also striking out 2 in his time on the mound. If it was the last we've seen of Ebner this season, he sure left it all on the mound. In the second inning, the Cotuit offense struck first. Charles Davalon got all of the baseball and sent it over the right field wall for a solo home run. This comes after a Wareham home run that was deemed foul, so this home run by Davalon made it 1-0 the Kettleers in the bottom of the second inning. Ebner, paired with the defense behind them, kept the Wareham bats off balance until he was done on his time on the mound. Ebner would come out in the 4th inning after securing 1 out and turning the ball over to Taylor C. to get 2 outs. Ebner in the 4th inning got the final out of his night by way of a strikeout, and then later on in the inning, Matt Klein gunned a runner down at second base to get the 2nd out of the inning. Taylor C. then came in and got a strikeout to end the 4th inning and keep the Kets up by 1. With 2 outs in the 4th inning, Matt Klein wrote the ball to left field for a single, putting 1 runner on base with 2 outs left in the 4th. Jared Vincula then followed up with a nubber hit down the third baseline, which he would beat out for an infield single, putting runners on first and second with 2 outs. Wareham would then turn to a submariner with Nate Hall up at plate, and Nate Hall crushed the ball, hitting it over the left field wall for a 3-run homer, giving the Kets a 4-0 lead at the time in the 4th inning. Cotuit kept it going in the 5th when Tanner Thatch roped the ball down the right field line for a single, bringing home 1 runner. Then it was followed up by a Matt Klein RBI groundout, making the score 6-0 in favor of Cotuit in the 5th inning. Jared Vincula then came up clutch again, beating out a ball hit down the third baseline which the Wareham third baseman made a great play on it, but was too much for Nicholas' speed. In the 6th, Cotuit turned to Bo Sampson out of Oklahoma to bridge the gap between the bullpen. Bo Sampson pitched 2.2 innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 run, and struck out 1 in his time on the mound. Bo kept the Wareham hitters off balance and let the defense work behind him on way to picking up the win in this contest. In the 7th, Cotuit turned to Max Marsoff with runners on first and second with 2 outs. Marsoff got a strikeout, and then he would continue on in the 8th by getting 2 flyouts in the 8th inning, both to right fielder Nathan Hall. Wareham was able to scratch 3 across the game, and then 1 in the 9th, where Marsoff bore down and got all 3 outs in the 9th inning, sending Cotuit to the second round for the first time since 2019. Cotuit now moves on to face the number 4 seed, the Bourne Braves, in the second round of the playoffs, aka the Championship Series. Game time is scheduled for 4 o'clock at Lowell Park.
Well, that's a look back at how Cotuit got here. For Bourne, they captured a 5-1 victory over the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the road. And Joe, that's not an easy task at all.
No, it definitely isn't. I mean, to go into Hyannis, that's a place that they've only lost 3 games all season long, but when you take a look back at the last week of the season, there's only been one team to tie the Harbor Hawks at McKeon Park, and it was the Bourne Braves. They basically just continued on that path against Hyannis, where they've had so much success in the past week of the season against no matter what team they face. And so last night, it was a great bullpen performance by Griffin Hughes. He went 5 strong frames, only gave up 2 base runners, and that is just so huge. When you get 5 innings of scoreless relief in the middle of a playoff game, you should go on to win that game basically every single time, and that's exactly what the Braves did.
And taking a look at this season series between the Braves and the Kettleers, Cotuit won the first 3 matchups, but it's been a different story in these last 2 games. Bourne outscoring the Kettleers 19-6, both of these games coming here at Lowell Park.
Yeah, those are 2 games where this is just a Bourne offense that heated up, and it wasn't what we saw in the first couple games against them this season. I mean, the Kettleers took game 1 of the series 3-1 at Bourne Park. They followed that up with a 7-3 win and then 8-7 as well. So all close games at the start of the season that were really brought along by solid pitching and great bullpen pitching by the Kettleers, and so that's just not what happened in the remaining 2 games of this season series. 8-1 at Lowell Park, 11-5 at Lowell Park, and this is a ballpark that they have just torn to shreds in the past 2 seasons. 26
runs this year for Bourne in just 3 contests and 11 in that last game. And saw that you mentioned it last postseason. They also scored a lot of runs here at Lowell Park.
Yeah, they did. I mean, when you take a look at the last 2 seasons, even including the playoffs, the Bourne Braves are outscoring the Kettleers 64-27 in the last 2 seasons, and something that's really important. In 11 of those 13 games that they played against each other in 23 and 24, the team that has scored first has won all but 2 games.
Pre-game still rolling on here at Lowell Park. We'll step aside for a quick break as Lily Wolf sings the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lily Wolf.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watch,
Just about time for first pitch between the Bourne Braves and the Cotuit Kettleers before Game 1 of the Western Division Finals. And Joe, how does this Bourne squad line up?
Against Colin McKay, it'll be Ethan Conrad to start him off. He's transferring from Marist to Wake Forest this upcoming season, and the second best hitter in the league based on batting average, starts right at the top of Scott Lander's lineup. After him, Merrick Houston, Braden Holcomb, the 2 and 3. Tristan Becerra bats 4th. He's out of Clemson. Garrett Michelle out of Virginia Tech bats 5th. Blake Barthel, the second baseman out of Coastal Carolina, bats 6th. Jack Schroeder, who had 2 home runs the last time he played here at Lowell Park, bats 7th. Cam Kojal out of Vanderbilt, the designated hitter, batting 8th. And Chris Stanfield rounds out this order at 9 and playing in center field.
Getting the ball for the Kettleers is Colin McKay, making his first start and 4th appearance for Cotuit here in 2024. But McKay, a returner to this Kettleer squad. And Joe, what are you looking forward to out of McKay's first start?
Well, it's going to be another start for him this summer, but it's going to be his second appearance against the Bourne Braves in the last 2 years, because he was on this team in 2023. He had a 2.5 ERA across just over 10 innings pitched. Throughout this summer, though, has been able to go a bit more time out on the bump, but all of that has been in relief, and just one appearance for him this summer will be a start. That's going to happen here today, but he went 2 1/3 innings against the Bourne Braves last summer, and he was the first man out of the pen after Cam Hill struggled in Game 1 against the Bourne Braves. He allowed 3 runs, 2 of which were earned, but Colin McKay came into the game after that. He allowed 2 runs, 2 of those were earned, gave up just 1 hit, 1 walk, and struck out 2. So this is a Bourne lineup that has already seen Colin McKay a couple of times, but it's not really the lineup's sake, but more coaching-wise that they've been able to build some scouting reports against Colin McKay, and let's see if that pays off for them today.
And on the flip side for Bourne, getting the ball here in Game 1, Chase Meyer, who's had an excellent year, a 2-1 record and a 1.77 ERA.
Yeah, and Chase Meyer is a guy who we weren't really sure who was going to start off this game going into today. They had the starter from yesterday, McIlvain, go just 3 innings, and we didn't really know who was going to get the nod today, but it turns out it is going to be Chase Meyer. He's out of West Virginia, who had a lot of hype coming out of high school, and then his freshman season made 13 appearances, had an 8.4 ERA, and this is a guy who has already appeared in 7 games this summer for the Braves, kind of made his way from the bullpen into a starting role, has pitched over 20 innings, so a bit more time than Colin McKay this summer, but a bit less experience in college baseball overall.
And just moments away from first pitch as Cotuit just about set to take the field. They're huddling up right by the third base bag. And looking back at last night, Bourne scores 5 runs on 11 hits. Hyannis, they only had 1 run on 2 hits. And that 11 hits, really a balanced attack all throughout the lineup.
Yeah, it was. I mean, this is a lineup that we've talked about it so much. I mean, there are so many guys who can win baseball games, can do a job, and I think that's the one thing that stuck out the last time that these two teams played, is that a lot of these guys in the starting lineup weren't even active in that game. One being Ethan Conrad, who was nipping at the heels of Jaron Advincula for the batting title throughout the last week of the season. He came up just short, but is still one of the top hitters in the league, and after that, it doesn't get much easier. Braden Holcomb has already hit a home run here at Lowell Park this summer. Garrett Michelle batted .300 for the Braves in the playoffs a summer ago, and also had 3 hits in Game 1 right here at Lowell Park, just as you mentioned, a little over a year ago from the day. So this is a lineup that has already made the Kettleers pay a couple of times, especially in their last 2 meetings, and Cotuit are going to try to flip the script today.
The top 3 hitters in the Bourne lineup, Ethan Conrad, Merrick Houston, Braden Holcomb, all did not play the last time these two teams squared off in Game 40 of the 2024 regular season. That was an 11-5 victory for Bourne, and they jumped out to a 7-0 lead. Cotuit made things interesting, brought it to 7-4, but then it was John Schroeder blasting another home run, made it 10-4, and it was all Bourne from there.
Yeah, it was just a steady incline for Bourne, just as it was pretty much throughout the entire season too. But when you look at that one game, it was about getting guys on base, not being easy to strike out at the plate. This is a team throughout the regular season that walked so much. They had one of the best on-base percentages, even despite not having a great slugging percentage. So they were able to just get the job done by continually putting guys on base and making other teams pay by putting the ball in play.
Bourne has an 8-1-1 record in their last 10 games, but you have to go all the way back to July 20th to find the last time they lost a game in 9 innings. That was a 10-5 loss on the road at Spillane Field against the Wareham Gatemen. But we're just about set for first pitch as the leadoff man, Ethan Conrad, digging into the left-hand batter's box, squaring off against the starter for Cotuit, Colin McKay. packed house here at Lowell Park for Game 1 of the West Division Finals. Cullen McKay is ready. Ethan Conrad is ready. The first pitch is foul tipped into the glove of Matt Klein, and the Western Division Finals are underway from Lowell Park. First pitch was tossed at 4:02 local time here in Cotuit. 70 degrees and cloudy. Rain was in the forecast. It rained earlier here in Cotuit, but the sky's holding off for now as the 0-1 on the way. Fouled off back into the parking lot, and 2 quick strikes on arguably the most dangerous hitter in the Bourne lineup. Conrad, during the regular season, played in 29 games, hit .385 with 42 hits and 109 at-bats. Has struggled against Cotuit this season, going just 3 for 15. The 0-2 pitch from McKay, rocketed fair down the right field line. Skips over the glove of Thatch. Conrad rounding first. He will head for second. The relay throw from Hall, not in time. Bourne's off to a fast start here at Lowell Park as just 3 pitches, and Ethan Conrad stands on second.
And who else but Ethan Conrad just ropes that one down the line, tucked over the glove of Tanner Thatch. It took a funky hop there, as you were mentioning the weather going into today. It pretty much rained all last night, all morning, and you can really see that playing an impact in the field right now. It's a little bit lighter colored on the infield dirt as you normally see, and have to assume that made some sort of an impact on that ground ball.
Houston squares around a bunt now, pulls back as the first offering from Cullen McKay missed wide. Take a look at how Cotuit aligns defensively. Brandon Compton gets to start in left field. Charles Davlon plays center. Nathan Hall in right field. From third to first, it's Timo Becerra, Luke Hansen, Jaron Advincula, and Tanner Thatch. Behind the dish is Matt Klein, and getting the start is Cullen McKay. The same exact fielding lineup for Cotuit from Game 1 against Wareham in the quarterfinals, now to Game 1 of the West Division Finals against Bourne. Conrad dances off second. Houston drops down the bunt right down the third base line. Fielding it is Becerra. The snap throw to first. In time, they got him. Advancing to third is Conrad. So it's a sacrifice bunt by Merrick Houston, and he's the first out here in the first.
Well, this is a Bourne team that can just make you pay in so many different ways. I mean, they steal more bases than anybody else in the league, get more hits than anybody else in this West Division. And a big reason for it is just pesky guys like Ethan Conrad, who can just make great contact with the ball, can steal a lot of bases, can make you pay even when they're not just in the batter's box, and now he's just 90 feet away.
Cotuit bring the infield in early against the third baseman for Bourne, Braden Holcomb, as McKay's first pitch, breaking ball, taken outside for ball 1. Holcomb, one of the stars of this Bourne lineup. Since July 26th, he's 12 for his last 25 with 3 home runs and 13 RBIs. The 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss by Holcomb to even the count up at 1-1. McKay coming off of his sophomore campaign at UVA, where he had a 2-1 record, an 8.45 ERA, starting 7 games. The 1-1 on the way. Taken high for ball 2. McKay entered the transfer portal after the season was over, and announced his destination of Coastal Carolina. But just 3 batters into this game, and McKay finds himself in a tough spot with Ethan Conrad leading off third. These are situations that Braden Holcomb found himself in a lot, with 18 RBIs this regular season, with runners in scoring position, as McKay struggling to find the strike zone early on. Misfires here, and the count is 3-1 against the Bourne third baseman. Holcomb went on a tear in the month of July, hitting .355 with 2 home runs and 17 RBIs. The 3-1 on the way. He peeled down at first. Did he go around? He did. So the count runs full with 1 gone in the inning.
That one ruled by Carmen Parati, too, the home plate ump. Confident that Braden Holcomb went around, and now he's up against it at 3-2.
McKay comes set. deals the payoff pitch to Holcomb. On the outside, corner laid off for ball 4. So Holcomb works a walk, and the Braves have runners on the corner, still with 1 out.
Well, that's really not the worst-case scenario there for Colin McKay. I mean, you don't want to give him something that's out over the plate at 3-2 because you do have first base open. Now Luke Hansen, Jaron Advincula can take a step back on the middle infield. Tanner Thatch, Timo Becerra obviously will still be playing up at their respective positions, but now the chance to turn 2 is in play with Tristan Becerra digging in.
The umpire and crew today, Carmen Parati, calling balls and strikes at first base. Mike Hinojosa, who waves safe after the pickoff move of Braden Holcomb. At second base, Jonathan Lamatina. And at third base, Chris Engstrand. Engstrand was a home plate umpire in yesterday's game against Wareham. The first pitch, taken for ball 1, is McKay struggling to find the strike zone. 13 pitches so far, 7 strikes. He walked 4 hitters in his 6 1/3 innings during the regular season, striking out 7. Had a 7.11 ERA as the 1-0 pitch rocketed hard right to Advincula. Goes to second for 1. The relay throw in time. They got him. What a play. What a turn by the Kettleer middle infield duo. Jaron Advincula to Luke Hansen. Relay throw to Tanner Thatch in time as Colin McKay works in and out of trouble, stranding a runner on base as we're through the top of the first here from Lowell Park. We'll step aside with the Kets coming to bat.
Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
The Kettleers baseball clinics are well underway in the summer of 2024, offering boys and girls ages 6 through 17 with the opportunity to learn from some of the most experienced coaches and some of the top college baseball players in the country. With no prior baseball experience necessary, the camps teach kids the fundamentals of baseball, as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character. With just a few weeks of camp left, time is running out. So to sign up, head over to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. Again, that's info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. We hope to see you there.
A packed house here at Lowell Park, liking what they've seen early on from Cotuit. A 4-6-3 inning-ending double play against Tristan Becerra gives Cotuit all the momentum they need heading into the bottom half of the first. And Joe, how does Cotuit line up?
Well, it's the same exact lineup as yesterday. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess, for Mike Roberts today. It's Brandon Compton leading off, Devin Taylor, Tanner Thatch, Charles Davalon, who opened the scoring yesterday with a bomb. He bats fourth. Matt Klein, Jaron Advincula, Nathan Hall, and then Timo Becerra, Luke Hansen at 8 and 9.
So here is the Cotuit left fielder, Brandon Compton, digging in against the righty Chase Meyer. He fires with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball that's taken low and outside. Compton, during the regular season, one of the Kettleers' best hitters, playing in 38 games, blasting 6 home runs, 30 RBIs as he hits this one into short center field. Coming on is Chris Stanfield, and that'll dunk down in front of him. Stanfield bobbles the ball, but Compton will stay put at first. As running a long way out was the shortstop, Merrick Houston. Chris Stanfield coming in, and Brandon Compton bloops that ball in front of both of them.
Yeah, exactly. He just landed it right into no man's land. Those are two of the best fielders in their respective positions in the entire CCBL this year. I mean, Chris Stanfield, who's a guy who's headed to LSU this upcoming season, Merrick Houston out of Vanderbilt, and if those two can't make the play, it was definitely a really tough one to make. Good single for Compton to start us off.
First pitch, checking his swing, was Devin Taylor on a half-hearted attempt, but it's strike one, and we take a look at how Bourne aligns defensively. Getting the start in left field is Tristan Becerra, the aforementioned Chris Stanfield. He plays in center. Ethan Conrad in right field as Taylor falls behind on the count 0-2. Taking a look at the Bourne infield, getting the nod at first base, Garrett Michelle. Playing second, Blake Barthel. His counterpart in the middle infield, Merrick Houston. At third base is Braden Holcomb. And behind the dish is John Schroeder, who Devin Taylor goes down on just 3 pitches. Was 0 for 4 yesterday with 3 Ks as he strikes out for the 4th time this postseason.
It was a tough day at the plate for Devin Taylor yesterday with 3 strikeouts, and tough start today with that strikeout, but a nice job by Chase Meyer to respond after allowing the leadoff hit. And it looks like he was starting a little bit early there as Tanner Thatch was digging in, so here we go.
Compton leads off first. Meyer deals the first pitch to Thatch. That runs inside and drills him. Not the start that Chase Meyer wants, giving up the leadoff single to Brandon Compton and then plunking Tanner Thatch. So 2 of the Kettleers' first 3 hitters reach base.
Yeah, pair of base runners for either of these teams. First it was Bourne, and the Kettleers were able to get out of it, leaving Ethan Conrad on third base. And now let's see if the Braves can pitch with some base runners.
Meyer started off as a relief option for head coach Scott Landers, then transitioned to a starter as the year goes along as Charles Davalon takes a 96-mile-an-hour fastball high for ball 1. Meyer this year made 4 appearances out of the bullpen, along with 3 starts, had a 2-1 record with a 1.77 ERA. The 1-0 pitch dropped in there for strike 1. As a starter, pitched in 13 2/3 innings pitched, had a 1-1 record, 1.32 ERA, striking out 18. 1-1, grounded slowly back to Meyer, goes to second for 1. The relay throw from Houston, there is none. So they cut down Tanner Thatch, but Cotuit has runners on the corners with 2 gone.
Well, smart play by Meyer to know that he needs to go to the second base bag there, get at least one of the lead runners. So picking up the all-important second out right there, but now with 2 outs, Kettleers left to rely on Matt Klein.
First pitch looked at for strike 1. Throw from Meyer was just a bit off the mark. Merrick Houston wanted to make sure he kept his foot on the bag. Wasn't in time to make the relay throw to nab Charles Davalon for 2 as this one goes off the foot of Schroeder, off the top of the fence. So it's a wild pitch by Chase Meyer, and that plates the first run for Cotuit as Brandon Compton crosses home plate. And Cotuit leads 1-0 here in the bottom of the first.
Well, Mike Roberts has harped on it all season long, the importance of base running, and all you need to do is get guys on base, and you can make other teams make mistakes, and that's exactly what happened right there. Obviously, with the runner just 90 feet away, the job is much harder for the pitcher and catcher.
This one cracked hard on the ground to Merrick Houston. His throw in plenty of time to nab Klein for the 3rd and final out here in the bottom of the first, but not before Cotuit strikes first on a wild pitch tossed by the starter, Chase Meyer, as we're through 1 from Lowell Park. Cotuit leading Bourne 1-0.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Top of the second, upcoming here from Lowell Park here's a look at the CCBL playoff bracket, and just 4 teams remain. The other game that's currently going on, YD and Harwich. And Joe, Harwich pulled off of a massive victory last night against Chatham. They're currently beating YD 3-0.
Oh man, what a game it was last night. I mean, they won at 7-5, I believe the final was, but it got down all the way to the end there in Chatham, down to the final out. And this is a Harwich team that I don't think anybody should want to play out of the East right now. I know they lost 16 of 17 games after the 4th of July, but it doesn't matter what happened in July and June as long as you get into the playoffs, and Harwich is a great example of that. And if they can hold on, that would be a huge upset.
Those West Division games were something yesterday. You mentioned the 7-5 Harwich victory, but YD advancing with a 1-0 victory over Orleans, and that was a pitcher's duel, and the only run that YD scored was unearned. It was a fielding miscue by the Orleans left fielder, Austin Smith.
That is just not a great way to end the summer for sure, and it's an Orleans team that pitched so well all season, and it's probably a best-case scenario yesterday. I mean, you're pitching against likely the best lineup in the entire league throughout this entire summer, and you got 2 of the best arms out there as well. Atsuki Takimoto closing things out for the last 2 innings, and they still were unable to get the win. I mean, they did everything right except swing the bat.
Garrett Michelle is yet to swing the bat in this at-bat as he watches the first 3 pitches miss the zone from Cullen McKay, who danced in and out of trouble in the top of the first, issued a leadoff double to Ethan Conrad, but stranded him on the base pass after getting Tristan Becerra to ground into a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play as Michelle squares around a bunt and pulls back. But it's called strike 1. So the count goes to 3-1 against Garrett Michelle, who, like you mentioned earlier, Joe, was dominant against Cotuit in the postseason last year, but has fallen on hard times against the Kettleer pitching staff this year. But he crushes this one deep to center field. Charles Davlon running back now will settle underneath it, make the grab for the first out.
It was a great game 1 for Garrett Michelle on August 4th last season. He went 3 for 4 here, a couple of RBIs, and then throughout the entire series went 4 for 8. And that was a great playoff run for Garrett Michelle, but Cullen McKay getting the best of him here to start off the second. That's exactly what you need. You need to get that first out of the inning. Now he has an opportunity to settle in.
Here's the second baseman, Blake Barthel. First pitch curveball in there from McKay. Barthel was on a tear to close out the regular season. Was 5 for 11 in the final 4 games with 2 RBIs. Also walked 3 times as the 0-1 pitch. A high-towering pop-up staying on the infield. Jaron Advincula camping underneath it will run in, battle the wind, and make the grab for the second out.
Yeah, definitely some wind at play. And usually when we're here and it's windy, it's blowing out towards left center field, but seemingly right now blowing straight away towards home plate.
"10-mile-an-hour winds here at Lowell Park is worked in Cullen McKay's favor with 2 fly balls in this inning. Starts out John Schroeder with a first pitch strike. Schroeder, the last time he was here at Lowell Park, his first 2 at-bats, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, hit a grand slam, and followed that up just a couple of innings later with a 2-run home run to straightaway center field. It's been the only Bourne Brave this season at have a 2-home run game. He's quickly down to the count 0-2 against the righty McKay, who comes set at the belt, looks in, deals the 0-2 pitch, got him swinging. What a start for Cullen McKay. He goes 1, 2, 3 here in the top of the second against the 5, 6, and 7 hitters of the Bourne Braves. So we're through 1.5 from Lowell Park. The Kettleers leading the Braves 1-0.
Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available, Check out Coastal Rentals today.
Cotuit Library. Since its founding in 1874, the Cotuit Library has served its community with an expansive collection that continues to grow. Their staff is dedicated to serving all ages, offering youth events weekly. The library has dozens of events scheduled throughout the summer, so be sure to head to the website at cotuitlibrary.org to see what's coming up next. The library is located right off Main Street. The Cotuit Library, a proud sponsor of the Kettleers.
Be a part of historic Lowell Park and support the Cotuit Kettleers by purchasing a paver engraved with your personal message to be placed in the new Walk of Champions. For more information, visit the Cotuit Kettleers website.
Borderline.
Bottom of the second here at Lowell Park as you're taking a look at the Kettleer dugout. And Joe, something that we were just mentioning, there's been a different buzz here at Lowell Park. Obviously, it's the playoffs, but there's been a different intensity from these Kettleers.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, it starts with the players and then it bleeds into the crowd. And this is a team that clearly wants to win. There are a bunch of guys who are erupting with every single play that happens, especially in the field and especially when a nice play is made by this guy at the plate, whether it be in the field or hitting, in which he was the best hitter in the league this summer.
Jaron Advincula capturing the batting title, hitting .392 during the regular season, had 19 multi-hit games, picked up multi-hit game number 20 just a day ago, going 3 for 4 against Wareham. His account evened up at 1-1, and something that stood out is after he won the batting title, quote that he said was, "There's still more summer ball to be played as this one lied." That dunks down in front of Chris Stanfield in center field as Jaron Advincula continues to rake against the Bourne Braves. That's now with his 8th hit against Bourne this summer.
And he has just been a spark plug at the middle and towards the bottom of this lineup for the Kettleers all summer. A guy who wears his emotions with each and every pitch out there, and when he's in the field, he's seemingly having a great time, but then when he gets up to the plate, he locks in, and he's somebody who has as much energy as this team has had in the past week. He likely has the most and leads off this inning with a single.
First pitch to Nathan Hall, dots the outside corner for strike one. Advincula didn't play the last time these two teams squared off, just 3 days ago, and then was used as a pinch hitter on July 26th. So Advincula only making 3 starts against Bourne this year, but in those 3 starts, he was 7 for 11. That was good for a .636 batting average with 5 runs and 2 RBIs. He leads off first. Meyer working against the righty Hall. The 1-1 pitch in there for strike 2. Hall disagrees with the call, but Meyer goes back to the fastball at 94 miles an hour. Hall went 1 for 4 yesterday. That one hit, a 3-run home run, but he elevates here and chases on the fastball against Chase Meyer. So Hall is the first out here in the second.
Not really what we saw from Hall yesterday, although in his couple at-bats around that 3-run homer, did strike out a pair of times.
Advincula running on the pitch. The throw down from Schroeder is high. The tag, in time, they got him. After allowing a wild pitch in the bottom of the first, John Schroeder nails Jaron Advincula for the first out. And Advincula running off the field, a couple of words with the Bourne third baseman, Braden Holcomb.
Yeah, that's something that we're definitely going to want to have to watch for the rest of this game, and something that we definitely talked about going into this game was that this is a series and that this isn't the last time that these two teams are going to meet each other. There is a game that will happen after today, whether it be 1 more game or 2 more games. But Jaron Advincula, you got to understand that what you do in game 1, what you do earlier on in the games can always come back to bite you later on in the series. And we'll see if anything else comes of that.
The count is 2-0 on Timo Becerra, who's been on a tear against Bourne this year, and the count is 3-0 against the Kettleer third baseman. 7 for 17 against Bourne during the regular season. A third of his hits came against this very pitching staff. Meyer comes back, throws a 97-mile-an-hour fastball to dot the strike zone. The count is 3-1 on Becerra. He went 7 for 17 with a double and 2 RBIs. Swinging away at the 3-1, fouling it straight back into the fence. Myers primarily worked with the fastball, going back to it here to run the count full with 2 gone here in this bottom of the second.
And when you see those Timo Becerra numbers against Bourne, it might make you think that you might not want to send Advincula there.
This one hits slowly back up the middle, goes off the bag. Houston Fields fires. In time, they got him. A nice bounce back inning for Chase Meyer here in the bottom of the second after allowing the leadoff single to Jaron Advincula. Strikes out Nathan Hall, gets Timo Becerra to ground out up the middle, and Jaron Advincula was caught stealing by the catcher John Schroeder. As we're through 2 from Lowell Park, Cotuit still leading Bourne 1-0, and now we'll bring on our sideline reporter Adele Huffman, who's at field level.
Thanks, Alex. Yes, it is obvious that there are a lot of special players on this team, but today we're talking about Nathan Hall, a player who left Clemson, a team headed to the College World Series, to take a chance on Coach Mike Roberts and the Cotuit Kettleers. And once he got to Lowell Park, him and Roberts, just the 2 of them out here, worked on a trick play, and Roberts said he was doing pretty good at it. And yesterday, we saw that play as Nathan Hall stepped forward for that home run ball, and Coach was in the dugout saying, go out, and we saw that ball fly out for Nathan Hall's 2nd home run of the season. And it is great to see these college players take a chance on the Cotuit Kettleers and it pay off. Back to you, Joe and Alex.
Thanks so much, Adele. Excellent work as always. And Nathan Hall forging a bond with Mike Roberts, and that's something that Shane Patagna wrote a lot about earlier in the year, and especially after yesterday's game. Just like you mentioned, Adele, those 2 being the only 2 people at the start of the season here at Lowell Park. And what the trick play that they worked on, the cheat swing for Nathan Hall, and, well, he broke it out yesterday, and it broke the game open.
It did. I mean, what better way to welcome Jacob Faulkner into the game? The first pitch that he threw after a pitching change for Wareham in the middle of that 4th inning, he deposited into the trees in deep left center field. And it's just been a summer for Nathan Hall that has just been so cool to watch. He started off the summer playing against his former team, the Martha's Vineyard Sharks, and actually for the Kettleers hit a home run in that game that left deep left field as well, and then wasn't on this roster at the start of the season, but then made an immediate impact by hitting a home run in his first game against Harwich. That was game 4 of the season, and then his 2nd home run of the summer yesterday.
I guess it's just something about first for Nathan Hall. First game as a Kettleer in the preseason goes yard. First game in the regular season goes yard. And first playoff game, well, of course, he had to go yard. So it only makes sense for Nathan Hall. And I thought it was cool after the game, Mike Roberts telling Shane Patagna he was all for it and he let her fly. It was a coach-player moment that you kind of cherish for the rest of your life. And Coach Roberts, Nathan Hall, creating a good bond here in the summer of 2024. Hall getting the start in right field, struck out swinging last inning. As we're in the top of the 3rd, Cotuit still leading 1-0 as this one hit to Nathan Hall in right field. He's going back, circling underneath it. Actually, it's Charles Davalon who calls Hall off and makes the run and grab for the first out.
You could see the reaction after Colin McKay released that pitch. It was barreled by Cam Kozel, who has hit a home run here at Lowell Park this summer. But luckily for Colin McKay and the Kettleers' sake, the ballpark held that one, and he has a chance to pitch to Chris Stanfield with nobody on the base paths and 1 gone.
Kozel 7 for 20 against Cotuit this year, but now that brings up the 9th man in Scott Lander's order, Chris Stanfield, who's getting the start in center field. He's been on a tear in his last 3 games. 4 for 7 with a single, a double, a triple, and a homer with 4 RBIs and 3 strikeouts. The 1-0 pitch evades the glove of Klein, goes back to the backstop. So 2 consecutive balls to begin the first at-bat of the Bourne center fielder. Stanfield only appearing in 2 of the 5 meetings during the regular season between Bourne and Cotuit. Went 1 for 7 in those 2 games with a walk, a stolen base, and 2 strikeouts as McKay can't seem to find the strike zone here. Stanfield laying off. He's up in the count 3-0. Stanfield entering the transfer portal, staying in the SEC, going from Auburn to LSU. As the 3-0 pitch at the top of the strike zone laying off, so it's a 4-pitch walk for Chris Stanfield, the second walk issued by Colin McKay.
It's a scary part of the lineup to have to face when you have a guy in Chris Stanfield who has been so good for the Bourne Braves, especially in this month of August, as you were talking about that, to parlay that with Ethan Conrad at the top of the order, somebody who hit .385 this summer for the Braves. It's a scary combination, and let's see if Colin McKay can dial things up here to face Conrad in his second rotation around this lineup.
A pickoff move before the first pitch to Ethan Conrad. Stanfield dives back in safely. A lot of speed on first base, 14 stolen bags for the center fielder. Has a big lead off first. McKay looking in, another pickoff move. Stanfield continuing to dirty up that jersey. Flashed the power last night. Hit a home run that broke the game open. The 5-1 win over Hyannis. Said it was super awesome to hit that home run, and being here from the very beginning. I've seen everything. We've been through everything as a team, and to get into the playoffs, the goal is just to get in, and then ultimately it's a brand new season. And while Bourne went on a tear to close out the regular season, they've gotten in with flying colors here as the first pitch waved on and missed by Ethan Conrad. Eight 1-1 in the last 10 games for Bourne. As another pickoff move, snap throw, Stanfield dives back in safely. He stole 10 bags in the month of July in 19 games. It's another pickoff move. Chess match brewing between Colin McKay and Chris Stanfield. Conrad 1 for 1. Doubled down the right field line on a ground ball that went right past the glove of Tanner Thatch at first base. Falls behind on the count 0-2. Was the 6th overall double for Ethan Conrad this summer. Went 1 for 5 last night against Hyannis. Currently now on a 15-game hitting streak. Another pickoff move. Stanfield in safely.
14 stolen bases this summer for Chris Stanfield. Definitely going to want to keep him close and keep that double play opportunity alive.
6 pickoff moves. Count goes to 1-2 here.
Keeping that guy on first base, especially with somebody who is one of the best hitters in the league this summer, is super important.
The 1-2 pitch on the outside corner. Conrad lays off on a tough pitch from Colin McKay. That Kettleer dugout thought it might have been strike 3.
Definitely had a case for it. Matt Klein trying to frame it on the outside portion of the box, but just barely unable to.
The 2-2 pitch from McKay, rocketed hard right down the right field line, takes a high hop off the fence and goes out of play. Fans continuing to file in here at Lowell Park. The home grandstand down the third base line completely filled. Fans in their lawn chairs down the right field and left field lines. A couple of fans out in the left center field gap. The 2-2 once more to Conrad. Got him looking. Stanfield running on the pitch. No one was covering as Luke Hansen was late to getting over to the second base bag. So Conrad goes down on strikes. He's the second out in the inning, the second strikeout victim for Colin McKay, but Chris Stanfield swipes second base.
Great jump at first base from Chris Stanfield, and that's just a play there where Luke Hansen hasn't had too much time at the shortstop position.
This offering gets away from Klein. There's no throw as he fails to pick up that baseball. So it's a wild pitch by Colin McKay, and after back-to-back pitches, Chris Stanfield moves from first to third. So here's Merrick Houston digging in for the second time. Still yet to record an official at-bat. Laid down a sacrifice bunt. This one nearly drills. Houston, as he has to back out of the way. McKay running hot, up and in with a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. As Houston taking it back, shaking up just a bit as he digs back in. Time is called on the play. Houston looking to even the score up at 1-1 here in this top of the third. 2-0 count, 2 outs in the inning. Stanfield dancing off third. The 2-0 pitch hit hard. That'll get through into left field. It's a 2-out RBI single for Merrick Houston as 2-out hitting continues to favor the Bourne Braves as they knock the score up at 1.
Well, that's what players like Chris Stanfield can draw other teams into. He advances to second on the strikeout on the stolen base, then quickly to third on the wild pitch, and that gives Merrick Houston a glowing opportunity to tie up this ball game with 2 gone, and he does so perfectly right through the 5-6 hole. And with 2 gone, it's a 1-1 game.
First pitch looked at for strike 1 against Braden Holcomb. Reached in the first inning on a walk, but was cut down. A 4-6-3 inning-ending double play off the bat of Tristan Becerra, who stands in the on-deck circle. McKay looking to limit the damage as this one in the dirt, just barely kept in front by Matt Klein, who tried to go for the backhanded stab. It got away from him just a bit, but staying put on first base is Merrick Houston. Houston stole 7 bases during the regular season. Stole 4 in 8 games in June and added another 3 in the month of July. He leads off first with the count evened up at 1-1. Against Holcomb, another pickoff move from McKay. Houston is in standing. Holcomb didn't play the last time these two teams met, just 3 days ago. Was 6 for 14 in the first 4 matchup against Cotuit as this one hit back to McKay. Fields throws just in time. They got Holcomb at first. Nice play by Cullen McKay, fielding his position, delivering the strong throw in time to Tanner Thatch to cut down Braden Holcomb, but not before the Braves even the score at 1 after the RBI single by Merrick Houston as we're through the first 2.5 from Lowell Park. Bourne and Cotuit knotted up at 1.
You need to be seen for a minor illness or injury. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is here for you with high-quality, full-service walk-in care. ER expertise meets urgent care convenience at our 6 urgent care centers, which are staffed by board-certified ER providers and located Cape-wide from Falmouth to Orleans. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is open daily and offers a cost-saving option for everything from sprains to stitches, with timely treatment in under an hour for most patients. View online wait times at capecodhealth.org/urgent care. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care. Minor emergencies, major attention.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They are ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
A look at Merrick Houston, whose RBI single tied the score at 1 in the top half of the inning. And Joe, this is nothing new for Merrick Houston with runners in scoring position during the regular season. Led the Bourne Braves with a .391 average and 7 RBIs. Now he tallies RBI number 8.
It's just amazing to see from a guy who was on Team USA this year, as that's going to be a pretty far low and outside strike call on Luke Hansen to start him off. But Merrick Houston is a guy who took advantage of every single opportunity that he got his freshman season, and then while his numbers weren't as great, was able to make an impact his sophomore season to hit .326.
Seen him flash to leather a couple of times early on through the first 2 innings. Now here in the bottom of the third, it's the other shortstop in the game, Luke Hansen. He's up in the count 2-1. Hansen making just his second start against Bourne this year. Meyer drops in a curveball. Hansen disagreed with the call, bends his knees, but the count evened up at 2-2. Luke Hansen played in 14 games for Cotuit, went 8 for 24 with a pair of RBIs. Fights this one off of his hands. The ground ball hit weakly to the first baseman, Garrett Michelle, who takes it to the bag himself for the first out.
Luke Hansen has just swung an incredibly hot bat going into the playoffs. Was on a streak where he had hits in each of his last 4 starts going into the playoffs, but against Wareham yesterday went 0 for 2 and had some more weak contact there as the lineup card flips back up to the top.
Here is Brandon Compton, 1 for 1 today. Back in the leadoff spot for the 5th consecutive game. Compton ended the regular season 5 for 13 as the Cotuit leadoff man with a home run and 2 RBIs. That home run came against Bourne. Came when Cotuit was trailing 7-0. Hit a shot deep into right field as this one hit slowly on the ground to the second baseman, Barthel, who fields cleanly. His throw in plenty of time to nab Compton, so it's back-to-back groundouts work by Chase Meyer as Luke Hansen and Brandon Compton are the first 2 outs here in the inning.
Yeah, he's really buckled down after giving up that wild pitch to score the first run of the game for the Kettleers. After that wild pitch, was able to get a ground out of Matt Klein, and then after that, everybody else has been retired except for Jaron Advincula, who singled, but he was caught trying to steal second.
First pitch to Devin Taylor on the inside corner, but too far inside. It's been a tough start to the postseason for Devin Taylor. Still looking for his first hit as he's 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. Fastball at the top of the strike zone. Looked at for strike 1 to even the count at 1-1. Taylor during the regular season played in 29 games, had a .296 batting average with 5 home runs and 16 RBIs. He's up in the count 2-1 here. Has struggled against Bourne this season though. 3 for 15. With just 1 RBI as this one hit right back to Barthel at second, who fields his throw in plenty of time to nab Taylor. So 3 consecutive groundouts worked by Chase Meyer as a pitcher's duel is starting to ensue through the first 3 innings at Lowell Park. Bourne and Cotuit tied up at 1 apiece here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
It's time for another edition of Catch Trivia presented by the Cotuit Library. The question, this right-handed pitcher for Cotuit during the summer of 2011 as a 4th-round pick from Seminole State, he bounced around the LA Angels farm system until he was traded to Cleveland. He debuted in 2016 and was a part of the American League Championship Indians, who lost to the Cubs in the 2016 World Series. He continued his dominance in Cleveland until he stopped in San Diego en route to the White Sox, where he currently pitches. So if you know the answer, drop the answer in the YouTube comments below. And if you're watching on Huddle, hopefully you get the question right, but that answer will be revealed in just a couple of innings. So another edition of Catch Trivia, of course, presented by the Cotuit Library. Top of the fourth from Lowell Park, it's Tristan Becerra, who's 0 for 1, bouncing to a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play. All the way back in the first inning as the middle infield duo of Jaron Advincula and Luke Hansen continued to build chemistry together. Count evened up at 1-1 as Colin McKay returns to the mound. Gets a big swing and miss by Becerra here as he falls behind on the count 1-2. Becerra, after his double play, now 2 for 10 against Cotuit with a home run and a double, 2 RBIs, has struck out 3 times. Looking to avoid making it 4 here, but he fails to do so as McKay fans Becerra. As Colin McKay's had the strikeout pitch working early on, he picks up his 3rd strikeout and the first out here in the 4th.
Yeah, piled on 2 strikeouts the last time he faced these Bourne Braves in the playoffs, where he went just over 2 innings in that one. And now he works into his 4th inning of work here and has allowed just a couple hits. The 1 run came with 2 outs. And now starting off Garrett Michelle with another strike, and he has cruised through the middle part of this order 1 time already. Now he's trying to do it a 2nd time.
McKay's last appearance came back on July 30th against Harwich, when he went an inning and 2/3, gave up 4 hits, 1 run, walked a batter, and struck out 3. His season high of innings this year. Before this performance, 2 1/3 in a game against Hyannis on July 23rd, where he didn't allow a hit, walked 2, allowed 2 runs, and struck out 2. So this one cracked on the ground right to Jaron Advincula, who fields his throw in time to nab Garrett Michelle. So two quick outs for Colin McKay here in the 4th. And Joe, how important is this start for Colin McKay, continuing to give Mike Roberts and his coaching staff length, especially after using 4 different arms just a day ago?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you used 2 different arms across the first 4 innings and then 2 more arms after that. It's huge when you look at this bullpen and kind of where they stand right now. You already used a couple of the guys who you like out of the bullpen, one being Bo Sampson, Max Martsolf, but there are so many guys available that when you think about this being a series, it really sets you up nicely for the next few games, even if you're unable to win this one.
The count is 0-2 against the second baseman, Blake Barthel. Michael Ebner got the start yesterday. He went 3 1/3 innings pitched, only gave up 1 hit. Taylor C. came on and got the remaining 2 outs in the 4th inning. Then it was Bo Sampson and Max Martsolf to slam the door shut in the 7-4 victory for Cotuit over the Wareham Gatemen. 1-2 is the count against Barthel, who's 0 for 1 today. Popped up to Jaron Advincula in the 2nd. As the 1-2 from McKay, got him swinging. The second 1-2-3 inning for Colin McKay as he's cruising through the first 3.5 innings at Lowell Park. He's now struck out 4 batters, going 4 innings, allowing just 2 hits and 1 run as the pitcher's duel continues to brew, as Bourne and Cotuit still even at 1 apiece here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
Three, 4, 5 due up for Cotuit here in the bottom of the fourth. Tanner Thatch, Charles Davalon, and Matt Klein sets a hit against Chase Meyer, who returns to the bump after cruising through the first 3 innings, throwing just 37 pitches. Meyer, 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, no walks, 2 strikeouts, 37 pitches, 23 strikes. As Tanner Thatch digs in for the second time, was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat. The count evened up at 1-1. Thatch 1 for 4 yesterday against Wareham in the opening game of the playoffs. That 1 hit, an RBI single. He's mashed against right-handed pitching all season long, finished the regular season going 28 for 84. That was good for a .333 batting average. Count is 3-1 on the Kettleer first baseman. Still looking for his first home run since July 17th in a 6-5 victory over Orleans. As the 3-1 misses well off the plate as Tanner Thatch works a 5-pitch walk. And for the third inning, Cotuit has a leadoff man on.
It did so in the second inning. It was a single from Jaron Advincula, and then he was caught trying to steal second base. And then in the first, they put the leadoff man on. He came around to score, and these are the situations that Charles Davalon is really built for when runners are on base.
The first pitch off the plate, laid off for ball 1. Just like you mentioned, Joe, during the regular season, Charles Davalon 8 for 22 with runners in scoring position, hit .364 with 10 RBIs. Meyer falls behind the Kettleer center fielder 2-0, and that draws John Schroeder out to the mound.
This is an important inning for Chase Meyer when you look at it, because especially when you're the road pitcher, you have to pitch in the home half of the inning. So when Colin McKay goes out there in the top of the fourth inning, gets a big 3-up, 3-down frame, that puts a little bit more pressure on Chase Meyer to try and go do the same. And he's going to have to refocus here and regather with that runner on first base, because when you give up the leadoff man in the inning, it's really tough to settle in, and that's what Schroeder's trying to allow him to do here.
The 2-0 taken outside for ball 3. Comparatively, with no runners on base, Charles Davalon struggled mightily. Had just 4 hits and 32 at-bats. That was good for a .125 batting average. That was the lowest on the Kettleers, but he works a 4-pitch walk. So 2 consecutive free passes issued by the Bourne starter Chase Meyer. And Cotuit has runners on first and second with Matt Klein digging in.
And no serious action in the Bourne bullpen as Scott Landers makes his way out to the mound. But it looks like a couple of relievers for the Braves have stood up and started to stretch out, but this is likely a mound visit here to talk things over about how they want to approach this Matt Klein at-bat, how they want to approach the rest of the inning. And Alex, I think this is a situation that is tailor-made for a bunt attempt for Matt Klein.
We've seen Matt Klein do that a lot this season. Such a player that likes to give him the at-bats up, not afraid to do so, lay a bunt down and move runners in scoring position, especially when you look in the on-deck circle, Jaron Advincula, who's already 1 for 1 and has 8 hits against Bourne this year.
That's right. You're just going to want to do anything you can to get those runners in scoring position and set the table for Jaron Advincula. It's with no outs in the inning, you have some time to do so, and that's likely what the conversation was between Meyer and Landers, knowing that you don't need this out.
Klein does square around a bunt, tips it into the mid of Schroeder. As the corner infielders Braden Holcomb at third, Garrett Michelle at first are playing in on the grass. Tanner Thatch leads off second, being held on by Merrick Houston at short. Charles Davalon, he's off first. Meyer comes home with the 0-1 to Klein. This one fielded by the first baseman Michelle. His only play at first, his throw in time. So it's a sacrifice bunt for Matt Klein as he does his job, gets both runners in scoring position for Jaron Advincula.
Perfectly executes his job right there. A little knuckleball straight back up in front of the mound, and both runners are able to advance into scoring position. Matt Klein proving that he will do anything possible to let this team have a better chance at winning, and he has done so and set the table perfectly for Jaron Advincula.
Bourne will bring the infield in with one out as Advincula flies this one down the left field line and out of play. Advincula went 3 for 4 yesterday with an RBI single, also scored a run against Wareham. Now 4 for 5 in the first 2 playoff games as a Kettleer. The 0-1 from Meyer. That one skips away from Schroeder. Racing in from third is Tanner Thatch. He crosses home plate, and Cotuit takes a 2-1 advantage as they've scored both their runs off of wild pitches by Chase Meyer.
The only run that Bourne gave up in yesterday's game against Hyannis was on a wild pitch, and so they're able to bring another one home here for the Kettleers. And, it was the first run for Bourne yesterday that they scored on a wild pitch, and Cotuit doing that right back.
This one line back up the middle, that'll get down. It's an RBI single for Jaron Advincula as Charles Davalon comes in to score, as Advincula continues to do it here in the playoffs. He's now 6 for 7 with 2 RBIs.
And now he just continues to mash Bourne Braves pitching, now 9 for 15, driving in another RBI, his third against the Bravos. And boy, what just an unbelievable piece of hitting by Jaron Advincula, who was able to put that one straight back up the middle, right where it came from, and easily scoring the 3rd run of the game for Cotuit.
Cotuit leading 3-1. This one lined hard down the left field line. Is it fair? It's just foul. That ball was crushed off the bat of Nathan Hall, but he hooks it just foul. That would have been extra bases for sure, but it goes down as just a long foul ball.
Could have been one of those cheat swings from Nathan Hall, as he was talking about with Mike Roberts, but he got all of that one deep to the left field corner. It just barely twisted out of play. But that's just more of what we've seen from Nate Hall this past week, has really been tearing the cover off the ball.
That he has, and another Kettleer that has tore the cover off the ball against Bourne pitching as pitch that's on the outside corner. Strike 2. Favorable call for Chase Meyer by the home plate umpire Carmen Parati. As the 0-2 pitch, same spot. Meyer pushes it too far outside as Hall still battling up here. The count is 1-2. Hall 5 for 14 during the regular season against Bourne. He had 8 multi-hit games, 2 of which coming against this pitching staff. Advincula leads off first, the 1-2 pitch. Foul tipped into the glove of Schroeder as Nathan Hall is down on strikes for the 2nd time today, and a crucial second out for Chase Meyer.
And this is a part of the lineup, Advincula, Hall, and Becerra, who have all found a ton of success against Bourne so far this summer. Nathan Hall, as you just mentioned, his great numbers against the Braves. Also Timo Becerra, who grounded out his last time up to fall back to 7 for 18 against Bourne pitching.
Timo Becerra had 7 hits against Bourne, like you mentioned, 21 hits overall, so a third of Becerra's hits came against the Bourne Braves, as the count evened up at 1-1. Advincula staying put on first. That pitch was low in the dirt, kept in front by Schroeder. Cotuit already with 2 runs in the inning. Tanner Thatch scored on a wild pitch. Charles Davalon crossed home plate after the 2nd RBI single for Jaron Advincula this postseason. And we're going to have time on the play. Looks like Chase Meyer having issue with pitch count.
And you could see there from Blake Barthol, the second baseman, looks like he's also wearing the pitch comm. That's pretty common as well. You got the pitcher using it, the catcher using it, and getting signs from what we think to be Jared Saltalamacchia calling the pitches for the Bourne Braves in their dugout. So it's not out of the ordinary for a guy in the infield to also have that pitch comm, but they're just going to try to get this thing working. Now, it's interesting, though. You have the catcher, second baseman, third baseman, everybody on the infield with the shift cards, kind of like a play call wristband that a quarterback wears, and they all have that right around in front of their belt. It's the only team, it seems like, that does that around the league.
So after the visit, Meyer misfires here. The count is 2-1 to Becerra. And how much of an advantage is it for Bourne to have a former World Series champion, the 2013 Boston Red Sox, presumably calling your pitches?
I think it's everything. And
this one hit on the ground to Barthel at second. He fields cleanly his throw in time for the third and final out here in the fourth, but not before Cotuit breaks the 1-1 tie after Tanner Thatch comes in to score off of another wild pitch by Chase Meyer, and then Jaron Advincula, continuing his hot streak at the dish, records his second hit as he plates Charles Davalon for the third run for Cotuit as the Kettleers are leading 3-1, and now it's time to check in. Sideline reporter Adele Huffman.
Thanks, Alex. Yes, yesterday we talked with Coach about how it's the players who win the game, but we also have our unsung heroes, our assistant coaches, serving as that boost to get to this point. We have our assistant coaches Kesselring, Colden, Wolf, Thompson, Flaherty, and Holland. Let's just take a look back at some of the things about these assistant coaches that have been helping so much. We had Coach Cody Colden come in and serve as head coach when head coach Mike Roberts couldn't be there, which is a very rare occurrence, but Cody Colden came in, filled the shoes, and got us that win. We have Coach Holland, who actually was on the 2019 championship team, so he's been here before, just in different shoes. Every single coach serving a different role to get the players where they are right now, and we would not be here without them. Back to you, Joe and Alex.
Thank you so much, Adele. Excellent work as always, and this is something that we've talked about a lot over the most recent games, the Kettleer coaching staff, and just doing such an excellent job assisting head coach Mike Roberts.
Yeah, they do. I mean, Peyton Kesselring, Trey Holland, Danny Crossan. It's an interesting story for Danny Crossan, who yesterday was given the opportunity to call pitches against the Wareham Gatemen, and doing so again today for Matt Klein and for Colin McKay, and also Elliott Wolf, Will Thompson making a difference on this coaching staff. All of those guys working so incredibly hard to give this team a lot of opportunities to have success, but they're also the guys who in the past couple games and throughout this entire season have been working tirelessly, and putting so much work into this field and keeping it ready to go and up to good shape to play this game, as there's been so much weather here in the past couple of days that they've had to work a lot to keep this infield playing surface especially playable for today's game and for yesterday's game, and maybe looks a little bit tattered from these past couple games and all the rain. Game's still going on, and they've just done an excellent job.
The first pitch to the catcher, John Schroeder, dribbled slowly down the first base line and foul. I'm glad you brought up that point about Cotuit switching things up, calling different pitches, and that was something that Michael Ebner talked about after the game with Shane Patagna. He said the coaches did a bunch of scouting on their guys, and we trusted what they had, and it worked well for us. They were calling all the pitches, and I really liked the way it was going, and Ebner really had success continuing what he has done all year long. He went 3 1/3, allowed just 1 hit, 1 walk, and struck out 2. And Colin McKay having success. He's out here in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, already 4 strikeouts for Colin McKay, and has not allowed a base runner since the 3rd inning.
McKay's gone 4 innings, allowed just 2 hits, a high looping breaking ball dotted on the outside corner to Schroeder, as the count evened up at 2-2. 1-2. The scoreboard was wrong here at Lowell Park. Happens from time to time. Everyone can't be perfect. The 1-2 on the way to Schroeder. High chopper, look out over there down the first base line. Hit right near that camera well.
Looks like Isaiah Jackson there on the end of the dugout saying that, talking to the photographer, saying if that heads in your direction, don't expect me to jump in front of it.
The 1-2 to Schroeder, skipped in the dirt, goes behind the glove of Matt Klein, right back to the backstop. Well, for Colin McKay, he's gone 4 innings, 2 hits, just 1 run, walked 2, and struck out 4. Giving Mike Roberts and his coaching staff exactly what they've needed here in Game 1 of the West Division Finals. The 2-2 laid off by Schroeder as he works the count full. So the count goes from 1-2 to 3-2. Schroeder struck out swinging back in the 2nd inning. Was the first of 4 strikeouts for the Kettleer starter. The payoff pitch on the way. laid off for ball 4 at the top of the strike zone. So it's a leadoff walk for John Schroeder as he reaches for the first time today, and Bourne has the leadoff man on.
Well, there has been an arm warming up in the Kettleers bullpen in the last inning. But Mike Roberts staying put at his spot on the first base, or excuse me, at the third base dugout. And it seems like for now, as he'll make some adjustments from his spot, we'll keep McKay in this game.
So here's Cam Kogel. This one ripped on the ground. That'll get through in a right field. Schroeder takes the turn around second. He's motoring his way to third. The throw from Nathan Hall, not in time, goes off the glove of Timo Becerra. Both runners stay put as Cam Kogel attacking the first pitch he sees from Cullen McKay, roping a single into right field. And don't look now, but the Bourne Braves have runners on the corners still with no outs.
And now Mike Roberts will tuck the notebook on top of the dugout and make his way out to the mound. A new pitcher enters into the game for the Kettleers. And Chris Stanfield will be the batter. Already walked today back in the third inning. So with runners on the corners, we'll have a pitching change from Lowell Park. Don't go anywhere on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990. Their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Escape the summer heat at Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor, located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus, Kettleers kids get a free cone on home game days. Call us at 508-477-5553 or email info@polarcave.com to learn more. Come chill with us and experience the coolest treats on Cape Cod.
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee.
Willow Bend has been regarded as one of Cape Cod's and New England's premier private clubs and communities for over 25 years. Willow Bend is a family-friendly community right here in Cotuit. They strive for a fun and relaxed lifestyle with good times and good friends. Discover all that and more at Willow Bend.
The new arm into the game for Cotuit, the right-handed reliever Ryan Buckler, working into his first postseason game, made just one appearance during the regular season. That came 4 days ago. Started the game against Falmouth. At Cotuit snapped their 6-game losing streak on as Stanfield lays down a bunt right back to Buckler. He goes to first for one, his throw in time, as Stanfield is the first out. Coming in to score is John Schroeder, so the score is 3-2 Cotuit. Advancing into scoring position is Cam Kogel, so it's a sacrifice bunt by Chris Stanfield. And the Braves keep a runner in scoring position heading back to the top of their order.
Yeah, that's a huge play made by Chris Stanfield, who is a guy who could have an opportunity up there to go up there swinging. Had a 2-run home run in their game last night earlier on in their game against Hyannis, but does a job right there, putting another runner in scoring position. So now if you're able to get a base knock with 1 out or 2, and here's a guy who can do that really well, then they have a chance to tie up this ball game.
Conrad's already 1 for 2 today. Doubled down the right field line in his first at-bat as the opening pitch from Buckler missed the zone. Conrad during the regular season against Cotuit went just 3 for 15 with a walk and 5 strikeouts. As the second pitch in there for strike 1, that evens the count up at 1-1. But Conrad struggling against this Kettleer pitching staff. However, he didn't struggle against the other 8 teams on Cape Cod. Hit .414. As this one hit in a straightaway center field, Charles Davalon runs back, now camps underneath it, makes the catch, faking the tag from second is Kojal. So it's a big second out for Ryan Buckler as it's a fly ball off the bat of Ethan Conrad and into the mitt of Charles Davalon.
It's a huge out there worked by Ryan Buckler. It was taken to a deep part of the ballpark, but slightly in left center field, so the runner on second base, Kojal, had to stay put there and might have had a close play at third if he decided to advance, but they'll have to rely on Merrick Houston with another opportunity to drive in a run with 2 gone.
Eric Houston tied this game up at 1 with an RBI single in the third. He's 1 for 1 today. Mentioned it earlier on, Eric Houston's stats in the regular season with runners in scoring position, 9 for 23. As running on the pitch is Kojal. High, the throw down from Klein, not in time. Kojal swipes third. Becerra thought he was the third out of the inning, but Kojal moves up 90 feet and stands on third with the count at 0-1 against Merrick Houston. Actually 1-1. That pitch missed high from Buckler. Buckler trying to keep the 1-run advantage for the Kettleers. The count evened at 1-1 with 2 outs in the inning. A hard foul ball off the bat of Houston into the trees down the right field line. One and 2 is the count. Kojal leads off third. Cotuit leading 3-2. The 1-2 on the way, high and inside, laid off by Houston to even the count up at 2-2. The game was tied at 1-1 after the first 3 innings. Cotuit scores 2 runs in the bottom half of the fourth. Bourne answers back with 1. Buckler gets Houston swinging. Goes with the curveball, fans Houston as he's fired up, walking off the mound, stranding Cam Kojal just 90 feet away of being the game-tying run. As we're through the first 4.5 innings from Lowell Park, we've got a good one. Cotuit leading Bourne 3-2, and when we come back from this commercial break, my broadcast partner Joe Pratt will take you the rest of the way of Game 1 of the West Division Finals between the Bourne Braves and the Cotuit Kettleers.
Each week, the Cape Cod Baseball League is honoring those who served with Red Shirt Fridays. Every home team on Fridays wear red Cape League uniforms and an Army camouflaged hat. For every Friday game at Lowell Park, the Kettleers are honoring a hero of the game presented by the Massachusetts State Lottery. For exclusive Red Shirt Friday gear like fitted player hats, head to the Kettleers store at the ballpark. We hope you can join us for a Red Shirt Friday at Lowell Park this season.
For over 40 years, Vollmer & Son Construction has proudly served its community, providing a wide range of construction services, from bathroom renovations to complete home remodels. When you work with Vollmer & Son, you are being taken care of by natives of Cape Cod who support the community by using local suppliers and subcontractors. Vollmer & Son Construction, a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Looking to connect with the right business? ZoomInfo's got you covered. With a database of over 100 million company profiles, they provide top-notch data to boost sales and marketing growth. Since 2007, ZoomInfo's B2B data quality has ensured that businesses have the best intelligence right at your fingertips. Discover more at zoominfo.com and see how you can get connected today.
Nine 1-2 for the Kettleers here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Chase Meyer is back out there, nearly hits Luke Hansen with the first pitch he sees. But the right-handed hitting shortstop now is 0 for 1 after grounding one out to the right side. Bounced one to the first baseman Garrett Michelle. And now he leads off this bottom of the 5th inning once again. And it's a situation for Luke Hansen that he's really kind of had to get used to in these past few weeks, as that one is called a strike one. One thing that he's had to get used to is playing at the shortstop position. He had one appearance there this past season at Virginia, as the 1-1 is too high upstairs. But also when you go back to one of his games from about a week ago, he went 2 for 2, both of those hits coming in the leadoff spot, as he takes a big cut here, and now it's a 2-2 count from Hansen to Chase Meyer. So Luke Hansen batting in the leadoff spot for the second time today, acting as the second leadoff man in the 9 spot before Compton and Taylor will bat after him. But now he flips this one high down the right field line. Conrad giving chase over the line. It's just out of his reach. Solid effort from Ethan Conrad, but he couldn't quite make the play, and Luke Hansen gets another chance.
That would have been an excellent grab from Ethan Conrad in right field, who had to run a long way, sprawling attempt, but couldn't come up with that baseball as Hansen stays alive here.
Still 2-2 to Hansen, and he stays alive once more. That one 95 on the gun from Chase Meyer. And we were kind of wondering what the velocity would look like going into the later innings here, as he's been able to stay out there to start off this bottom of the 5th, and he's still pumping north of 94 miles an hour with the fastball. Also throws the slider, curveball, and changeup. That one bounced on the ground towards shortstop. 2 hops into Houston's glove, and there's one gone.
One shortstop grounding out to the other shortstop, and that's a good bounce back and first out for Chase Meyer after allowing 2 runs just an inning ago. One wild pitch that allowed Tanner Thatch to come in to score. Then the second single of the day for Jaron Advincula as Charles Davalon came in to score.
It's another close game between these two teams. First pitch to Brandon Compton is in there for strike 1. These two teams starting off the season with a couple of very close games played, and now as we move on to the latter half of the season, it's been all Bourne. Cotuit trying to change that, as that one misses low and outside. So it's a 1-1 count to Brandon Compton, who's already 1 for 2 today. Scored a run after singling to start off Chase Meyer's day. That one misses upstairs. 2-1 the count to Compton, who going into today was 4 for 11 against the Bourne Braves, batting above a 360 clip. And his final home run of the 2024 campaign coming against Bourne in Game 40 of the summer. 2-1. That one hit hard off the glove of Meyer, straight back up the middle. Barthel has a play, but will not make the throw. Brandon Compton hustles up the first base line, and he reaches with one gone.
That would have been a tough play for Blake Barthel up the middle. Took a hop off the mound, and Barthel doing a good job ranging up the middle, gloving it down, trying to make the throw. Just lost the ball on the transfer as Brandon Compton reaches on his second single today.
Devin Taylor is so far 0 for 6 in the CCBL playoffs. That one misses beneath his knees. It's 1-0. But he's someone who had a monster season with the Kettleers, was one of their top hitters. 296 hitter, 29 base knocks, and 98 ABs. Drove in 16. Now the 1-0 is swatted high and out of play, foul. But he's someone who didn't find as much success against these Bourne Braves. 3 for 15 with strikeouts in every single game that he played against the Bravos, including today. Started off the day with a strikeout swinging. First of 3 for Chase Meyer. That one misses in the dirt. 2-1 advantage for Devin Taylor. So Devin Taylor back in the designated hitter position for the second straight game as the Kettleers roll out the same exact lineup as they did just a day ago. Reaches out over the plate and pokes that one into the parking lot, keeping this count at 2-2, but after seeing the first 6 at-bats in the playoffs for Devin Taylor, this is likely the best one we've seen.
That it is, as Taylor fouling off a tough pitch there, working deep into the count, and that's something that we didn't see yesterday. He went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, and when Devin Taylor's at its best, he's looking at tough pitches, keeping at-bats alive, and just being a pest at the dish.
Puts that one on the ground towards second. Barthel's flipped to second in time for 1, relayed to first in time for 2. So after putting Brandon Compton on with a 1-out single, Devin Taylor grounds into a 4-6-3 double play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. Kettleers still leading 3-2 as we head to the 6th here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
So we move into the top of the 6th inning. 3-2 is your score. Kettleers taking a 1-0 lead in the 1st inning and then adding 2 more to that in the 4th. Bourne with runs in the 3rd and in the 5th. 1 apiece. They've been set down in order twice today, and one of them was against this part of the lineup: Braden Holcomb, Tristan Becerra, and Garrett Michelle. Ryan Buckler dials in a first pitch strike to Braden Holcomb, who didn't like the call. But Buckler returns out there for his 2nd inning of work, first full inning of work, even though he got all 3 outs in the 5th inning. Colin McKay started that frame, gave up a walk, a single. Buckler came in to get 3 quick outs after that and allowed 1 run that would be charged to Colin McKay. So the end of the line for him, 4 innings pitched into the 5th frame. 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts on 3 hits. That one popped up high into foul territory. Tanner Thatch will watch it go into the trees. So Ryan Buckler is into the game for the Kettleers, and this is his 2nd appearance for Cotuit this summer. Made his 1st appearance against Falmouth in the 2nd to last game of the season. That was last Saturday. Started off that game for the Kettleers, pitched into the 3rd, and that one just outside, ball 2. Now works into his 2nd appearance, and this is after his great uncle Frank Buckler played for the Kettleers 60 years ago. That one popped up just outside of the infield for Jaron Advincula. He'll let Hansen handle it, and he makes the grab.
Nice job by Ryan Buckler, who came out of the bullpen into a tough spot, had 2 runners on base, John Schroeder and Cam Kojal. Chris Stanfield laid down the sacrifice bunt, and they made the play on that, got the out at first, and then facing the top 2 hitters in this lineup, Ethan Conrad, Merrick Houston, had a long fly out to center field of Conrad and a strikeout on a beautiful breaking ball against Merrick Houston.
And now here's Tristan Becerra, who's 0 for 2, and he takes strike 1. 83 on the gun from Ryan Buckler. And he was someone who started off his summer in the NECBL, North Shore Navigators. 2-2 record, a 1.9 ERA in 12 appearances. 6 of those were starts. Picked up a save in 38 innings. That one fought off, twisting towards left field. Compton is under it, heading towards the line, and he makes the grab for the 2nd out. So it's been smooth sailing for Ryan Buckler in this one so far.
That it has, and the key has been he's gotten ahead of these Bourne hitters, 16 pitches, getting 5 outs, 11 strikes, and that's exactly what you want to do coming out of the bullpen, throwing strikes and inducing weak contact, and well, Ryan Buckler has done that early on.
He's set and ready to go against Garrett Michelle, who flings one foul. High over the snack shack in the third base side. Solid crowd on hand today, even despite some of the weather earlier on today, but fans making their way all around the outfield and down either baseline. Now it's an 0-2 count to Garrett Michelle as more young fans will try to grab that baseball. But the home grandstand completely full. How's the visitors grandstand? Pretty full on the visitors side?
Yeah.
Next pitch, called strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night from Ryan Buckler to Garrett Michelle. He sets them down in order in the top of the 6th. We go to the home half of this frame with the Kettleers still on top 3-2. You're watching Cotuit Baseball here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
The Kettleers baseball clinics are well underway in the summer of 2024, offering boys and girls ages 6 through 17 with the opportunity to learn from some of the most experienced coaches and some of the top college baseball players in the country. With no prior baseball experience necessary, the camps teach kids the fundamentals of baseball, as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character. With just a few weeks of camp left, time is running out. So to sign up, head over to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. Again, that's info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. We hope to see you there.
Operating.
Here's Tanner Thatch to lead off the bottom of the 6th frame. Cotuit in front 3-2, and this is a big inning for the Kettleers facing Chase Meyer, who works into his 6th inning of work. Tanner Thatch takes a breaking ball low and away. Strike 1.
Meyer has given this Bourne team length all year long. In his last start a week ago against Wareham, he went 5 innings, gave up 2 hits, and struck out 6.
Well, he's done more of that today, and that's really something that Bourne didn't get yesterday, even despite their 5-1 win.
That they did not, and starting pitcher Ethan McIlvain just went 3 innings through 85 pitches, ran into trouble with walks. Through, like I said, 85 pitches, but they got an excellent relief outing from Griffin Hughes. He went 5 innings and only gave up 1 hit, and that's exactly what you need in the postseason, guys to step up, and Griffin Hughes did that for Bourne.
Griffin Hughes made a couple appearances against the Kettleers this summer, and we'll see if we end up seeing him throughout the rest of the series, but 5 innings of relief could have potentially put him out of the rest of the games in this series, but we have seen plenty of guys fight through some short rest as that one's rolled on the ground by Tanner Thatch, and he makes the first out of the 6th inning. Blake Barthel tested once again, and it's back-to-back outs for Chase Meyer from the 5th inning and into this 6th frame. And so this is something that the Kettleers have done really well, is put leadoff men on, and he gets a big first out there.
That was a massive first out, especially against Tanner Thatch, who was still looking to record his first official at-bat, had reached both times, was hit by a pitch, also worked a walk, and Thatch's run was the second run that came in for Cotuit and gave them a 2-1 advantage as he scored on a wild pitch.
Yeah, it's 2 runs for Cotuit's 3 that have been scored on wild pitches. One of them happened when Charles Davalon was on base, and he came around to score on Jaronet Vincula's RBI single. That's the only run scored not on wild pitches, as Davalon has reached first in both plate appearances, first on a fielder's choice, then on a walk. The 0-1 is in there for strike 2. Davalon didn't like that call. Asked for a second opinion from Parati, the home plate umpire, but he'll have to regather himself and focus up for this 0-2 count. Myers ready. And that one misses too far outside. Charles Davalon going 2 for 4 yesterday, opening up the scoring with a solo bomb into the right field trees to lead off the second frame. After that, it was all Cotuit, at least until the 5th inning. But then blanked after that as they built themselves a 7-run cushion. Wareham was able to cut that down 7-4 in the last inning, but when you look at the last 4 innings of that ball game, it's not really something that you look at and view too positively when you go into this game, as that 2-2 is hit into the parking lot from Davalon. But this is a point in the game where you knew that it could be a tight one going into the late innings of this ball game, and you don't want the offense to go cold at this point.
Cotuit had just 1 base runner in the 6th, 7th, and 8th inning yesterday.
Davalon flares this one to short right field. Barthel is back, and there's 2 gone.
That 1 base runner came in the 8th inning. It was Sharon Advincula who singled, stole a base, advanced on a wild pitch, and that's just something that Jaron Advincula does, but had a lot of positives from the final 3 innings offensively that you're taking into today. And they scored 3 runs. They manufactured it in small ball, especially with the guy at the dish, Matt Klein, but they only have 4 hits so far.
First pitch to Klein is bounced to second. Barthel has it and will put an end to the bottom of the 6th frame. So just as the Kettleers were able to cut down Bourne batters 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 6th, the Kettleers offensively go 3 up, 3 down to finish off the 6th frame. So we played 6 from Lowell Park. Kettleers still up 3-2 here on the Kettleers Digital Network. Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
Cotuit Library. Since its founding in 1874, the Cotuit Library has served its community with an expansive collection that continues to grow. Their staff is dedicated to serving all ages, offering youth events weekly. The library has dozens of events scheduled throughout the summer, so be sure to head to the website at cotuitlibrary.org to see what's coming up next. The library is located right off Main Street. The Cotuit Library, a proud sponsor of the Kettleers.
Be a part of historic Lowell Park and support the Cotuit Kettleers by purchasing a paver engraved with your personal message to be placed in the new Walk of Champions. For more information, visit the Cotuit Kettleers website.
It's time to answer Kettleers Trivia, brought to you by the Cotuit Library. And to reiterate the question to you all, the right-handed pitcher for the Kettleers pitched here in the summer of 2011. That was after he was picked in the 4th round by the Angels out of Seminole State. And then he was bouncing around the LA Angels farm system before he was traded to Cleveland, and then making his debut in 2016, a part of that Indians team that got knocked out by the Cubs in the World Series of 2016, and now he currently pitches for the Chicago White Sox. So we'll go ahead and reveal that answer right now as the inning kicks off with a swing and miss of Blake Barthel. Mike Clevenger, former Kettleers pitcher from 2011. And a big shout out to one of the YouTube commenters, PJ Areola, answering correctly, Mike Clevenger, that's right. So now 3 trivia answers have been correct this summer. The 1-1 count to Blake Barthel. Finds the dirt, 2-1. We got the answer yesterday. Casey Schmidt, who made a long pitching appearance for the Kettleers in round 1 against Wareham. And that was pretty similar to what the Braves got yesterday with Griffin Hughes, 5 scoreless frames. And now Ryan Buckler works into his 3rd inning of work, and that one flinged into the parking lot, so it's a 2-2 count on Blake Barthel, who was 0 for 2 today. What have you liked from from Buckler so far?
I just like that he's attacked early and often in these counts. 23 pitches, 17 strikes.
And there's another one right there. Swings and misses at strike 3 does Barthel. Third K of the day for Ryan Buckler. And it starts off the 7th frame, but again, getting ahead of the batter right there to pick up the strikeout.
And that's allowed success for Ryan Buckler. You mentioned his 3rd strikeout and just continuing to do what he's done all game long. And he came into the game in a tough spot with 2 runners on base. Chris Stanfield laid down a sacrifice bunt that allowed John Schroeder to come in and score. And then instantly Buckler had to face Merrick Houston and Ethan Conrad.
That one skied towards left field. Compton back towards the corner has out number 2.
But facing the top 2 hitters in the Bourne lineup, no easy task, and then went through the 3, 4, or 5 hitters with a 1, 2, 3 inning. And anytime you're getting thrusted right into the fire in a playoff game, it's always a question to see how a pitcher, and especially a young pitcher, responds. But Ryan Buckler dominating early on for Cotuit.
And has just worked so efficiently, especially here in this 7th inning. Just a couple of pitches to get those first 2 outs, and now Cam Kojal, who's 1 for 2. He checks his swing and did not go, says Chris Engstrand at 3rd. But this is just a great job by Kettleers pitching all day today to shut down 2 through 7 in this order. From Braden Holcomb to Jack Schroeder. Just 2 of those guys have been able to reach base, both of them on walks. And it was really a Bourne lineup yesterday that saw production from 1 through 9. Couldn't be more different today, as that one dialed in with the breaking ball for strike 1 from Ryan Buckler. Has great feel for that slider, it seems. Also throws the changeup in the low 80s, pretty similar velocity to that slider. And then the fastball that's not going to blow you away, right around 90 to 92. The 2-1. 2-2. Ryan Buckler looking to complete a 3rd inning of work. Has retired each batter he's faced. 2-2, up and away. He's going up against Cam Kojal, who has found a lot of success against Kettleers pitching this summer. Does have a home run here at Lowell Park and is 7 for 20 going into this game. 8 for 21 overall, as that one hit into the alleyway towards left field. Playable for Brandon Compton, and he makes the grab for the 3rd out of the top of the 7th inning. Send it to the home half of the 7th. Ryan Buckler has pitched 3 scoreless frames for the Kettleers as we go to the home half of this frame here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
To be seen for a minor illness or injury, Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is here for you with high-quality, full-service walk-in care. ER expertise meets urgent care convenience at our 6 urgent care centers, which are staffed by board-certified ER providers and located Cape-wide from Falmouth to Orleans. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care is open daily and offers a cost-saving option for everything from sprains to stitches, with timely treatment in under an hour for most patients. View online wait times at capecodhealth.org/urgent care. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care. Minor emergencies, major attention.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings, they are ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
When you need to Cape Cod Baseball League is honoring those who served with Red Shirt Fridays. Every home team on Fridays wear red Cape League uniforms and an Army camouflaged hat. For every Friday game at Lowell Park, the Kettleers are honoring a hero of the game presented by the Massachusetts State Lottery. For exclusive Red Shirt Friday gear like fitted player hats, head to the Kettleers store at the ballpark. We hope you can join us for a Red Shirt Friday at Lowell Park this season.
For over 40 years, Vollmer & Son Construction has proudly served its community, providing a wide range of construction services, from bathroom renovations to complete home remodels. When you work with Vollmer & Son, you are being taken care of by natives of Cape Cod who support the community by using local suppliers and subcontractors. Vollmer & Son Construction, a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Looking to connect with the right business? Zoom Info's got you covered, with a database of over 100 million company profiles.
New pitcher into the game for the Bourne Braves. It's Justin West out of Louisville, and he's on to make his second appearance against the Kettleers this summer. His first one coming back on July 14th. It was a game at Lowell Park where he pitched the final inning of that ball game, trying to keep Bourne in it, and he did so perfectly. An inning, gave up 1 hit, struck out 2. And he'll be facing Jaron Advincula, who leads off the bottom of the 7th. Tries to lay down a bunt there, but instead takes a strike 1 at 71 miles an hour from Justin West, who throws a fastball, curveball, and changeup. We saw the curveball just then. The all-star left-handed pitcher, 6'3", 195. Playable for him in front of the mound. Underhand flips to first in time to get Advincula for the first out of the 7th.
That 1 hit that Justin West gave up in that game was a single to the man who just grounded out, Jaron Advincula. But got a strikeout of Luke Hansen, a strikeout of Devin Taylor, and a ground out to Cam Kogel at second base of Tanner Thatch.
So someone he hasn't yet faced, Nathan Hall. Ran into a couple of hard hit balls so far today, but both of those tracking into foul territory, and has put together a couple of one strong at bat after striking out on 3 pitches in the second, but 2 swinging Ks for Nathan Hall today. Went 1 for 4 yesterday. The 1-0. Rocketed, deep left field, tracking back Becerra towards the fence, leaping up, and he makes the grab. What a play by Tristan Becerra to rob Nathan Hall of extra bases, and there's 2 gone in the 7th.
That was a bullet off the bat of Nathan Hall, and Tristan Becerra initially ran in on that ball, had to backtrack, went into a leap, making the grab. That's a fantastic play by Tristan Becerra out in left field and robbing Nathan Hall of what could have been his another extra base hit. So that's been back-to-back at-bats where Nathan Hall been robbed of extra base hits.
Now Timo Becerra takes a fastball at the bottom of the zone. Becerra is also 0 for 2 today with a pair of groundouts. 1 to Merrick Houston, 1 to Blake Barthel. 0-1. That one gets a piece of his front leg, it looks like. And he'll be down in the count 0-2, and this is something that we've seen from Timo Becerra in these past couple of days, falling behind in counts. And that caused him to go 0 for 3 yesterday, but in game 40 of the season went 2 for 3 against Bourne with an RBI. And I know we talked about it. This is a guy who performed incredibly well against Bourne pitching, but also performed really well at the end of the regular season. 0-2 misses everything up and away. But 3 straight multi-hit games for Timo Becerra to enter into the playoffs, and even though he went 0 for 3 in yesterday's game, still does have 6 hits across his last 4 games played. All of those at third base. And the 1-2, he doesn't chase. It's 2-2. But now 7 for 19 against Bourne pitching. Pair of runs scored, pair of RBIs. And now the 2-2. He fights that one off just beyond the mound. And that play is made by Justin West to put an end to this bottom of the 7th inning. So the Kettleers go 3 up, 3 down, 7 up, 7 down in the last couple of frames. But they still lead at 3-2. As we go to the 8th, Ryan Buckler returns to the bump. And we'll step aside from Lowell Park with Cotuit leading by 1 here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
Ryan Buckler works his way into the top of the 8th inning. It'll be Chris Stanfield, Ethan Conrad, and Merrick Houston that'll face him, as both of these pitching staffs have done a great job of bearing down in these last couple innings, as that one is skied on the first pitch to Stanfield. Becerra over to get it, and he makes the grab for the first out of the top of the 8th, excuse me. So the lineup card will flip back up to the top for Ethan Conrad and Merrick Houston with one gone.
It's a huge first out for Ryan Buckler, who continues to dominate, but now he's facing the top of the order, Ethan Conrad, Merrick Houston, who Bourne only has 3 hits today. Conrad has one of them, the other, Merrick Houston.
Buckler ready. Conrad swats that one hard and foul down the left field line. So far today is 1 for 3. A double to lead off this game on the 4th pitch that he saw from Colin McKay. Then he was left stranded just 90 feet away on 3rd. The 0-1 gets a piece of that one, but it's off of his front leg. And that wasn't the first time that the Kettleers pitching staff left a runner on 3rd. Also happened to Cam Colgill in the 5th inning, and that was after a run came in to score on the sacrifice bunt from Chris Stanfield. And that was when Ryan Buckler was in the game, so we got the out of Chris Stanfield as the run came in. 2 quick ones after that, and has retired each of the last 7 faced. That one pushed down the left field line, just foul. So an 0-2 count on Ethan Conrad, who continues to battle up there against Buckler, who is eyeing his 4th strikeout of his 2nd outing as a Kettleer. The righty comes set, and it just misses low and away. Buckler out of Virginia Tech is headed to Florida Atlantic this upcoming season. Now the 1-2 to Conrad is hit on the ground towards Jaron Advincula. He's up with it and makes the easy flip to first for the 2nd out.
Buckler continuing to induce weak contact, 2 quick outs, getting the pop-up of Stanfield and Ethan Conrad, who battled in the at-bat, just gets him to roll over right to Advincula at 2nd.
Buckler now facing Merrick Houston, who's 1 for 2 today. An RBI single in the 3rd, strikeout swinging in the 5th after a bunt to start off his day. First pitch in there for strike 1. Ryan Buckler so far 39 pitches, 28 strikes. Has done more than his job out of the pen for the Kettleers today. Infield and outfield playing straight up, and the 0-1 offering to Merrick Houston is off the end of his bat and foul. So Buckler taking another advantage here, 0-2.
He's done that all game long. He's thrown 40 pitches, 29 strikes, and looking to close out his 4th inning of work on the mound.
Payoff pitch misses upstairs. Buckler just looking for that final strike here to put an end to this 8th inning. Has retired 11 straight batters as he comes set. That one cracked into straightaway center field. Charles Davalon will let that one drop, and it's the first hit for the Bourne Braves since the 5th inning.
Nice job by Merrick Houston, who fell behind in the count, 0-2. Fouled off a pitch and laid off of a pitch that just slipped out of the hand of Ryan Buckler, and then Buckler left a pitch down the heart of the plate. Houston lining that hard right back up the middle, and this is a big at-bat. Braden Holcomb, who's had a lot of success against Cotuit during the regular season, not so much here today, but such a dangerous hitter, and now you have Merrick Houston who's always a threat to go off first.
Merrick Houston with 7 stolen bags this summer. Tied for second place on this team, Braden Holcomb. Digs in and has played incredibly well against Cotuit, pitching 6 for 14 with a homer here at Lowell Park, but so far today, 0 for 2 with a walk. Has grounded out to the pitcher's mound and popped out to Luke Hansen at shortstop. So they check back at the runner at first, and they will do so once more here. Let's see if Scott Landers decides to send Merrick Houston during Braden Holcomb's at-bat. He's got a big lead over there at first as Buckler comes ready. He slide steps home. That's a weak ground ball to Becerra, but into the hand of Scott Landers at third, who made a nice play on it. Bare hand grab, but his throw to the dugout just short. Fans continuing to be quiet for Ryan Buckler, letting him do his work with this 0-1 count on Braden Holcomb. Got 2 quick outs to start off this 8th frame, and that single to Merrick Houston put to rest an 11 up, 11 down stretch for the Braves. Check back at first again. It's been Mason Davenport walking up and down the Kettleers bullpen, back and forth, but he still has that gray hoodie on, continues to just stretch out and not throw. The 8th is Ryan Buckler's, the 0-1. Up and away. Klein thought about throwing back to first. He does not, and it's a 1-1 count to Holcomb. But Braden Holcomb, an incredible hitter for the Braves this summer, was 4th in the CCBL in average, tied for 5th in RBIs as that one finds the dirt, and it's a 2-1 count to him. 41 hits, good for 6th in the CCBL across his 36 games played. Went 1 for 3 last night in Hyannis. The 2-1 pitch just beneath his knees. 3-1 count to Braden Holcomb. Ryan Buckler looking to escape his 4th full inning of work. The 3-1 down the heart of the plate, strike 2. Just what he needed.
It's a massive pitch for Ryan Buckler there. Couldn't afford to lose Braden Holcomb and put 2 runners on base.
Spins the ball in his right hand. Now he's ready at 3-2, and a balk is called on him. Balk immediately made, or the call was immediately made by Jonathan LaMattina right behind him. He didn't come set for long enough. And so the count will still be 3-2 now with Merrick Houston on second. Now Scott Landers is going to want an explanation as that pitch missed up high, but with the call being made before the pitch was released, it seems like this is the right call. And that's why it's still going to be a 3-2 count. Easy explanation there.
Not much of an explanation, just putting it exactly what you said. And there were a lot of explanations in yesterday's game with Ryan Smythe, the Wareham manager, who eventually got ejected.
The 3-2, up and inside, ball 4. Still no action in the Kettleers bullpen as Matt Klein makes his way out to the mound. But for Ryan Buckler, this becomes an appearance that can definitely mean a lot more than baseball.
That it does, and Cotuit baseball has been in his family for the past 60 years, and said Ryan Buckler came to Ketts games when he was a kid. One of these kids that's at the ballpark chasing after foul balls that we always hit on, that gets autographs from the Kettleers, and now he's pitching on the biggest stage, trying to strand 2 runners on base in a game that's just separated by 1 run.
Tristan Becerra stands in his way, rolls it slowly towards Tanner Thatch. He takes an 0-1 advantage. Buckler said his family used to love coming to games when he was a young Kettleers fan. It was a great summer thing to do because they lived just 5 minutes down the road. But ever since he's joined the Kettleers, his grandfather Ed has been with him every step of the way. currently at the game today, watching his grandson pitch for the team that one of his sons used to pitch for 60 years ago when they won 4 Cape League championships in a row from 1961 to 1965. His great uncle Frank played middle infield for the Kettleers across those summers. The 1-1 misses beneath the knees of Tristan Becerra, and it's a 2-1 count to him. He's already 0 for 3 today. Bounced into a double play in the first inning, struck out in the 4th, flew out in the 6th. 2-1 from Buckler. Becerra watches a breaking ball sail right in front of him, strike 2. Buckler said that his family loves baseball. They love coming out, even if he's not even in the game. But he's in the game right now, trying to put an end to the top of the 8th inning and keep 2 runners on base. The 2-2 is shot foul. His grandfather says he loves watching him, says it feels great to watch him do exactly what his son Frank did as the 2-2 offering comes home. Line shot at Timo Becerra, gloved on one hop. He throws across the diamond in time. The local kid Ryan Buckler pitches 4 scoreless frames and ushers the Kettleers with a 3-2 lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Cotuit up 3-2. And before we go to the home half of this frame, we'll check in with Adele Huffman.
Thanks, Joe. And wow, what an inning. We have to talk about the pitching today. First off, we had Colin McKay pitching 4 whole innings, only allowing 2 runs. And what's awesome about Colin is that second year Kettleer. And then we've got Ryan Buck, who came in Marston Mills. So we have a second-year Kettleer back for more and a tonight. Just playoffs that much more amazing. Back to you, Joe and Alex.
Thanks, Adele, giving us some great information on the pitchers that have combined to perform incredibly well in this game, but it really has only been 2 guys. It was Colin McKay first and then Ryan Buckler. And what can you say about these 8 innings that those guys combined for today?
It's been masterful pitching from the Kettleers, and it's been exactly what they've needed coming at the biggest stage. And Ryan Buckler, just like you mentioned so perfectly, in the top half of the inning, has gone out, thrown 4 innings, giving up just 1 hit, walking 1, and in the biggest moment on the brightest stage where the lights are shining so bright, stranding 2 runners on base and keeping Cotuit with their 1-run advantage. And for a kid that was just added to the roster at the beginning of the month, he's come out and absolutely dominated when they have needed him at the perfect time.
He did his job and then some. And we'll see who comes out for the Kettleers in the top of the 9th inning, but before then, they're going to try and tack on some insurance runs. Luke Hansen has started off with a curveball strike from Justin West, as it's also been 2 pitchers for the Bourne Braves. Chase Meyer and now West, as that one misses low and outside. So it's a 1-1 count to Luke Hansen, who's 0 for 2. Next pitch. Takes a big cut and misses. Hansen getting another start at shortstop. Hasn't been tested as much as he was yesterday, but has continued to hold down that position strongly. The 1-2. He stays alive. It was a great start to the summer for Luke Hansen. In each of his first 3 starts, had a hit in all of those games, and has now become seemingly the everyday shortstop for Mike Roberts here in the playoffs. The 1-2. Slow bouncer just in front of the mound and in foul territory. But this is just his 3rd game against the Braves and his first start. Excuse me, it's his 4th game against the Braves so far all season. But wasn't on the roster for the first 2 times these 2 teams squared off. Didn't get the start on July 10th, and then was used as a defensive replacement on July 19th, on August 2nd. but has worked his way into a starting role as that 1-2 pitch nearly fell out of the hands of Justin West. Misses way up and away, and Luke Hansen has worked a pretty solid count.
That he has, and that's what we've seen from Luke Hansen all throughout the year, and a guy who really wasn't thrusted into a starting role when he came to Cotuit, as playing more of a bench role, but as the season progressed, he's gotten starter reps and he's thrived.
2-2. He's worked this count full.
Seen a lot of turnover on that left side of the infield. Nolan Araki, Tyler Cerny, two guys that were starting at third base and shortstop respectively, and now it's switched to Timo Becerra and Luke Hansen.
He fights that one off again. Cerny and Araki still on the roster too, so they're still available, but Mike Roberts has just gone with Timo Becerra and Luke Hansen, but there was a time throughout the season where over 10 games in a row, the left side of the infield was manned by Tyler Cerny and Nolan Araki. 3-2 to Hansen, low and inside, ball 4. What a great at-bat from Luke Hansen. Started off 0-2, works deep into that count to get on base with nobody gone.
Hansen just the first base runner for Cotuit since the man at the dish, Brandon Compton, singled in the 5th inning. Hansen trying to fire up the Kettleer dugout, shaking his head after the walk and looking to get some insurance runs here in the bottom of the 8th.
9-pitch at-bat worked by Luke Hansen. Compton showing the bunt, but he pulls it back for ball 1. We'll see if there's another bunt attempt looming, but with a 1-0 advantage to Brandon Compton, he's already 2 for 3 today. We'll see if he's swinging away. He is not. Tries to spear at that one, does go around, and it's a 1-1 count to him. But this is a situation where Mike Roberts knows the way that these two teams and these two staffs have pitched today. That seemingly one run could be enough to grab some insurance to move on into the last inning. Compton doesn't pull the trigger there and goes ahead 2-1. Mike Roberts giving signs from third. West peers in, now he comes set. Hansen takes a big lead off first as that one is dotted low and outside for a called strike 2. Solid pitch there from Justin West. Clearly targeting low and outside to Brandon Compton. All 4 of the pitches in this at bat low and away. 2 of them for strikes, 2 of them for balls. That's where we sit with Luke Hansen extending his lead off first. That one misses low and away. 3-2 to Compton. So back-to-back full counts for Justin West to start off the 8th.
Once again, going back to the same spot here, just pushed it a little bit too far low and outside, and a great take by Brandon Compton.
The payoff pitch. Swinging to left field. Starting in was Becerra. He tracks back and he can't make the play. It bounces behind him. Hansen was close to the bag at first. Now running to third. Throw gets away from Holcomb. Safe at third is Hansen. Compton safe at second. 2 full count battles won by the Kettleers. And with nobody gone in the 8th, they have 2 runners in scoring position.
What an at-bat by Brandon Compton, working against the lefty Justin West, who continued to attack him low in the zone. Got a pitch that he could drive, shot it the opposite way to Tristan Becerra, who initially started in, had to backtrack, goes into a dive. That ball goes off of his glove, gets away from him. Excellent speed by Luke Hansen, who nearly was out on the relay throw to third base, but the ball gets away from Braden Holcomb. And just like that, with one swing of the bat, the Kettleers have 2 runners in scoring position.
And here's Devin Taylor. 0 for 7 to start off his playoff campaign, and he watches a curveball fall outside. Struck out swinging to start off the day, and then a couple of rollovers to second base. One was a double play, one a normal putout 4-3. But anything hit on the right side could do a job here. That one flicked into the parking lot. But the bottom line is, you get 2 base runners on, but it all starts with that phenomenal Luke Hansen at bat. 9 pitches starting off 0-2, and then he worked the walk. Now the 1-0 to Taylor, 1-1. Lifts that one towards left field. Becerra charging in, makes the grab. Hansen starts off from third, but he puts the brakes on there. And that is a much-needed out for the Bourne Braves, and just been the microcosm of these past couple of days for Devin Taylor.
Taylor hit that ball well on a line just right to the mitt of Tristan Becerra. Not deep enough for Luke Hansen to throw, as they're going to intentionally walk Tanner Thatch to load the bases.
That gives Charles Davalon a chance. So with the bases juiced, it's Charles Davalon. One gone in the inning. They'll play with the corners in, it looks like. Middle infielder's back. But it's Charles Davalon who reached on a fielder's choice, walked in the fourth, and then popped out on the infield in the sixth. With the bases juiced and one gone, here's the first pitch. Up and away. Matt Klein waits on deck. And the 1-0. Finds the dirt. A lot of noise from that Kettleers dugout, just as it has been all day long.
This is Davalon's second at-bat this season with the bases loaded. 1 for 1 with a single in his first at-bat.
(2-0). Big pitch there from Justin West. Crosses over the plate. 90 miles an hour with the get-me-over fastball. And it's a 2-1 count to Charles Davalon. Already worked a walk today, but still looking for that first base hit. 2 for 4 yesterday. Now he lifts this one high towards foul territory. Holcomb giving chase, but he will run out of room. And it'll be a 2-2 count on the left-handed swinger from Quebec. Sending one a long way yesterday to open up the scoring, and now a different situation a day later where he has a chance to give the Kettleers some extra runs of insurance. It's been a tight game all throughout. 3-2 your score. 5 hits for Cotuit, 4 hits for the Braves. No errors on either side. The payoff pitch from West. Davalon gets underneath that one once more and will extend this count. Ooh. One fan getting hit there at the top of the grandstand. Everyone's okay, as some of those fans in the home grandstand are on their feet. People around home plate here at Lowell Park on their feet, as well as the bullpen in left. 2-2 from Jackson West. Off the end of the bat of Davalon. He's frustrated with himself after missing that one. Just missed it.
It's a great at-bat for Charles Davalon, continuing the string of good at-bats for Cotuit in this inning. 6 pitches, fouling off 3 consecutive offerings from the lefty Justin West.
West thrown 33 pitches so far, 20 of them strikes. 7th pitch of this at-bat upcoming. Davalon reaches out over the plate, swats it towards left, gloved by Becerra for out number 2. And there are 2 gone.
2 balls that were hit well, just too short in left field. Devin Taylor, Charles Davalon, as Davalon didn't get all of it off the bat, was just trying to bloop it down in left field in front of Tristan Becerra, but it finds his mitt. And the bases remain loaded with 2 outs in the inning, and not too many other guys that you want to have up in the dish with runners in scoring position than Matt Klein.
Now time called. Scott Landers making his way out to the mound. He'll tug the entire infield in. There is nobody warming up in the Bourne bullpen right now. It's seemingly Justin West's inning. But if there is a silver lining to look at this game, Alex, for the team that loses or wins, there's still a positive spin that you can put on it in saying that just 4 total pitchers have been used in this game. What's the importance of that?
Those are vital, and especially for yesterday, Cotuit using 4 different arms, Bourne using 3 different arms, and this postseason, it's an arms race, and there's so many games that you play. You could play up to 7 consecutive days in a row, and you always want to make sure that you have your best guys refreshed and ready to go, and that's why Michael Ebner went 3 1/3 yesterday, only threw 48 pitches, because if Cotuit wants to make a deep postseason run, they're going to need a guy like Michael Ebner.
Klein takes outside, 1-0.
But for having a guy like Michael Ebner, you're also going to need relievers to come into the game like Ryan Buckler did today and eat up 4 innings of work and keeping your pitch count at an efficient rate, and he did that today. 54 pitches, 36 strikes.
1-0 to Klein. Gets underneath it, and it's a 1-1 count. It's been stellar performances from Cotuit pitching. And on the other side, you could say the same for Bourne.
Chase Meyer went 6 innings today, throwing 87 pitches. Griffin Hughes came into the game yesterday, threw 5 scoreless, under 80 pitches for him, and those are the performances that you need out on the mound.
Klein takes a 2-1 advantage. But it's Justin West's inning. Still nobody warming up in the Bourne bullpen. You mentioned Matt Klein batting with runners in scoring position, 19 games, 25 ABs, a .360 hitter. 2-1. He checks his swing and did go around. So the Braves are one strike away from escaping this bottom of the 8th inning after Luke Hansen and Brandon Compton were standing on second and third with nobody out. The bases are juiced now for Matt Klein. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the 8th. Payoff pitch. Klein takes up and inside, counts full. Crowd heating up. This will be the 40th pitch from West. Runners go. Bounced on the ground towards Barthel. His throw to first is in time to get Klein to put an end to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Kettleers strand the bases loaded, but still lead it 3-2. They're going to try to take Game 1 of the West Division Final when we come back in the top of the 9th inning here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Last chance for the Braves as Ryan Buckler is back out on the bump for the top of the 9th inning. It'll be Garrett Michelle, Blake Barthel, and Jack Schroeder as it stands right now. Across those 3 hitters, 1 has reached today. First pitch to Garrett Michelle at the bottom of the zone for strike 1, and he really doesn't like that call.
That was a late call there from Parati, the home plate umpire. Garrett Michelle disagreed with the call, and now he's walking over to Scott Landers at third base, and the entire Bourne dugout and the Bourne faithful that traveled extremely well to Lowell Park, they've been vocal the entire game, disagreed with that call.
Now Landers trying to calm his guy down, his 2-year veteran. Garrett Michelle on this team last year. Batted .300 in Bourne's run to the 2023 championship. And in 2 games against the Kettleers, went 4 for 8. Hasn't found that similar success against Cotuit in the playoffs today. He's 0 for 3, a ground out, a fly out, and a strikeout looking. Buckler leans in. Long look in as that pitch clock reads 5 seconds. Here it comes. 1-1 to Michelle. He went 1 for 3 last night with a walk at Hyannis. And ever since having a 4-hit game back on July 10th, has been hitting .205 since then. That one low and outside. And we were talking about his struggles earlier on in the broadcast, and it really didn't matter for him last summer as he hit a mere .243 with the Braves across 41 games. Then really turned it on once he got to the playoffs. Still a chance to do that here with nobody gone in the ninth. 2-1 takes a big cut and miss. 2-2. But even despite that cold stretch for Michelle, has still been able to make a difference with this glove, as that one is cold. Strike 3. Ryan Buckler's 4th strikeout to start this top of the 9th inning. Buckles Garrett Michelle at the knees, and there's one gone.
Garrett Michelle is furious after that strike 3 call. Stood in the batter's box for a while, just shaking his head, emphatically walked back to the dugout on the first base side, saying some words to the home plate umpire, Carmen Parati, and he goes down looking for the 2nd consecutive inning.
Blake Barthel digs in and takes strike 1.
2nd consecutive at bat, as continues to have a tough day at the dish, now 0 for 4 with a pair of looking strikeouts.
Blake Barthel has also struck out twice today. The 0-1 is hit on the ground towards Thatch, but just out of his reach in foul ground. So it's another 0-2 advantage for Ryan Buckler against Blake Barthel. Has already faced Buckler one time. He struck out swinging. Barthel been tested a lot at the second base position today and played it really well. But at the plate, he's 0 for 3. The infield has shifted slightly to the pull side for him. Next pitch, up and away. A non-competitive pitch there from Ryan Buckler, but that's really what you want to do here after taking that 0-2 advantage. Still ahead 1-2, here he comes. Down in the dirt and just barely getting a piece of it was Blake Barthel to stay alive. But a great pitch though from Ryan Buckler. Buried it down in the dirt, away from the bat of Barthel, but he just got a piece. The 1-2. Broken bat on the ground towards Becerra. He gloves it, throws to first, in time. 2 gone.
Huge play by Timo Becerra, who gloved it on the one-hop fire to strike over to Tanner Thatch at first base to retire Blake Barthel, and Ryan Buckler just 1 out away from completing this masterpiece.
Here's Jack Schroeder. He's 0 for 2. A walk and a run scored. Fights that one off by the second base bag. Hansen squeezes it. Out number 3. Ball game over. The Kettleers take game 1. They take down the Bourne Braves 3-2 and have a 1-0 advantage going into the final 2 games of the series.
Ryan Buckler doing his job today, coming out of the bullpen, throwing 5 innings, allowing just 2 runners to reach base, both coming in that top of the 8th. Gave up a single to Merrick Houston, then a walk to Braden Holcomb, but stranded both of the runners, getting Tristan Becerra to ground out, but he was masterful today. Went 5 innings, gave up 1 hit and no runs, walked 1, struck out 4, tossing 65 pitches, 44 strikes, and giving exactly what Mike Roberts and company needed out of the bullpen. The offense wasn't there. They had just 5 hits all game long, 3 runs, but it was the pitching staff, Colin McKay, Ryan Buckler slamming the door shut and picking up an ultra important Game 1 victory.
From Marston's Mills, Massachusetts, Ryan Buckler spins a 5-inning masterclass performance out of the bullpen for the Kettleers. But first, it was Cullen McKay who set the table with 4 strong.
That he did, and McKay was dominant right off the bat and also worked into a bit of trouble in that first inning. He gave up a leadoff double to Ethan Conrad, and right when that ball was hit hard down the first base line, you're like, okay, this is going to be a continuation of exactly what we saw the last 2 times that Bourne came here to Lowell Park, where they put up 19 runs over the last 2 games. But you have to give credit to Cullen McKay, working in and out of trouble, stranding Ethan Conrad on third as he worked a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play of Tristan Becerra. Then after that moment was on cruise control, only gave up the RBI single to Marek Houston, and of course got some run support across those innings. Cotuit had a 3-1 advantage after 4 innings of play when Ryan Buckler got the baseball. Also, he entered in a tough spot. 2 runners on base after Cullen McKay walked John Schroeder, gave up a single to Cam Kozel. Schroeder came in to score off the sacrifice bunt by Chris Stanfield, but after that moment, it was on cruise control for Buckler.
And the offense taking care of what they needed to do, jumping out in front 1-0. And when you take a look at the last now 14 times these teams have played, 12 out of those 14 times, the winning team has scored first.
That's exactly right, and it was right in that first inning. Brandon Compton with a leadoff single, and he got the party started, advanced on a wild pitch. He came in to score on that wild pitch, and that was massive, as 2 of the 3 runs that Cotuit scored today came home on wild pitches. Tanner Thatch was the other one in the bottom of the 4th. Charles Davalon came in after the RBI single for Jaron Advincula, but when looking at the box score for this game, Cotuit 3 runs on 5 hits. They only had 2 guys record base hits. Brandon Compton went 3 for 4. Jaron Advincula 2 for 3. The rest of the lineup blanked and held out of the hit category, but it was timely hitting for the Kettleers and excellent pitching for this team, and that's exactly what you need in the postseason. Sometimes you're not going to have the games like yesterday where you score 7 runs. You're batting the ball all around here at Lowell Park. Sometimes you're only going to put across 3 runs on 5 hits, and that's what good teams do. They find ways to win even when they're not firing on all cylinders, like Mike Roberts has talked about.
What does it say about this team that they have struggled so much in the last week of the season to now find some success in the playoffs?
Well, it says everything, and it shows how tight-knit this group is, that even battling adversity, they come back and play an excellent brand of baseball when they've needed it the most, and they've come back, they've gotten excellent pitching and timely hitting.
And now after the Kettleers win over the Bourne Braves, Adele Huffman is joined by Mike Roberts at field level with more. Adele?
Thank you, Joe. Congratulations, Coach. First off, how important was Cullen McKay's start followed by Ryan Buckler's relief tonight?
Well, there's no doubt. It was a pitcher's duel by both teams, and all 4 pitchers that were out there, both ours and theirs, really did a marvelous job. We're just fortunate to get that second run on a pass ball, and a third run Jaron drove in, and I was a little bit concerned when we didn't score, the bases loaded in the 8th inning, but Ryan was the right guy out there. In my head, no matter what happened, he was going to finish the game. So it was a pitcher's duel today, and we're thankful to come out on top.
Yes, Coach. And looking into tomorrow's 3rd game of the playoffs, what's the focus?
Pitching. Again, we've got pitchers actually leaving tomorrow. So, we'll focus on, who we think can battle against the style of hitters they have. And, we'll do a lot of work. The assistants have done a phenomenal job preparing. And then together we'll make a decision on who will go to the mound tomorrow. Our depth is not great right now, but we'll find 3 or 4 guys out there that can do the job.
Well, thank you, Coach. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, our 3rd game in the playoffs against Bourne at Bourne. This has been Adele Huffman at Lowell Park. We'll see you tomorrow, Cotuit family.
Thanks, Adele. Excellent stuff as always. There you go. You had some words from Mike Roberts at the end of the game, and he pointed out exactly what was the key to today's game into tomorrow, the pitching staff. And, of course, that's always so important when you try to make a run at the CCBL title as well as any other title in all of baseball, no matter what level you are on. But especially when you get further and further on into the higher levels of baseball, it seems like he who has the bullpen will be successful, and that was the case today for the Kettleers.
That it was, and Ryan Buckler came out of the bullpen, was dominant, throwing 5 innings, and one of the things that Mike Roberts talked about was maybe going to his bullpen, but he had faith and had trust in Ryan Buckler and knew that he was the right guy to finish out this game, and that decision ultimately proved to be the right decision for Mike Roberts as he trusted his guy. Ryan Buckler delivered and saving the Kettleers a couple of pitchers that they could use for Game 2, potentially however many games or else here in this postseason.
And that's also the same thing could be said for the Bourne Braves, as they only use 2 arms. The Kettleers using 2 arms, so many guys are available out of the Kettleers bullpen if you really need it tomorrow. If you need to bring in 4 or 5, 6, 7 guys, if you really need to, you don't want to have to do that, but they're in a position right now where if they wanted to, they really could do that. And I think that just makes this series a lot better to look at when you're Mike Roberts and when you're a member of this coaching staff, because you know that even if a guy doesn't quite have his stuff that day, you can always go to the next man up in the pen, and that's really what it's all about this time of year.
That's exactly right, and we've talked about this bullpen so much over the last 10 games because it's been a revolving door for this Kettleer pitching staff. They've had 47 different arms used during the regular season, and they're just trying to find consistency and find their groove, and to whoever's hot at the right moment, and especially whatever team has the best bullpen, the most well-rested bullpen. Right now it's Cotuit, especially after the start yesterday from Michael Ebner, using 3 guys out of the bullpen. Taylor C. throwing just 6 pitches. Bo Sampson coming out of the bullpen, eating up 2 2/3 innings pitched. Max Martzoff slamming the door in 2 1/3 innings. Then, of course, Ryan Buckler today going 5 innings. So you're really saving a lot of your key bullpen pitchers for the remainder of the series.
And one thing that can definitely be said about the other series is that they're not going to have too many arms available, because it's an 8-2 game right now between Harwich and Yarmouth Dennis. They're in the top of the 9th inning right now, with Harwich having the bases loaded right now, 1 out in that inning, and they lead it by 6 runs. So how about these Harwich Mariners? I mean, a comeback win last night at Veterans Field to take down the Anglers, and now they're beating the best team in the league, YD, 8-2.
This is not the team that you want to see in the playoffs, especially 8-2 in the win over YD, and such an excellent comeback victory last night. That was a seesaw game, and you have to give a lot of credit to this Harwich team. They struggled throughout most of the regular season, barely got into the playoffs, but they're a team that's battled a lot of adversity, and sometimes it's those type of groups that they won together, they lost together, but they stuck together through the highs, the lows, and now they're riding high in the playoffs, looking to capture a 8-2 victory in Game 1.
Well, that game will definitely be concluding in just a few moments, as Harwich is looking to win back-to-back games to start off these playoffs. The Kettleers just doing that a moment ago with a 3-2 win over the Braves in Game 1 of the West Division Finals. But that's going to do it for our coverage of Game 1, with the Kettleers taking that game. And that's going to do it for myself, my broadcast partner Alex Rocco, our entire production crew of Jimmy Chantulis and Cam Christie, and of course our sideline reporter Adele Huffman. We thank you for tuning in for Game 1 of the playoffs between the Braves and the Kettleers of Round 2. But we appreciate you for joining us this Wednesday afternoon, and we'll talk to you tomorrow from Bourne Park.